Ooh, my voice. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Sovereign Citizen Watch. How's everyone doing? Today we're going to be taking a look at more sovereign citizens, including the full video of Cameron's most recent interaction with the police, some new sovereign citizens, an old video from Eddie Craig, who created one of the most famous sovereign citizen scripts that we see all the time. The new costume that won is Moth Woman. We did it. It's the silhouette. It was the silhouette emoji. It's like Mothman, but I'm not gonna say Mothman because it'll make me feel bad about myself. Unconditional Prong, thanks for 37 months, says 37 is pretty boring. Gonna watch Brubaker to pay respects to Mr. Redford like with all the president's men. Also just got the 4K of Krull, underrated fantasy gem. Should we compare our editions of Krull? I only have the Blu-ray of Krull. Your Krull is superior to my Krull. I'm very happy for your 4K Krull copy. Ooh, that's fun to say. 4K Krull copy. Anyway, so today we're going to be looking at sovereign citizens. Should be fun. Medicated person, thanks for a 10-stream streak. If you want to help support the stream, you can always use the tip link. We're getting closer to our soundboard tip goal. And if you want, we're also on September still. So if you're on Twitch, you can always gift subs or subscribe yourself at a discount. It'll keep you from getting ads, and it helps the channel out. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Our first video is from Bama Mike. This is actually at least a few interactions with the same sovereign citizen. I've seen this sovereign citizen in court before, but I had never seen their actual arrests or interactions with the police. So let's check them out, shall we? Zonkman, thanks for subscribing. I really appreciate it.
What's up, Fields?
Hi, sir. How are you?
I'm all right, and yourself?
I'm good.
It's still the same situation.
Okay, do you know why I stopped you?
No, I don't.
Okay, it's because of your license plate.
Uh-huh.
Wait, dude, what is that, if you don't mind me asking?
It says private. He has one of the sovereign citizen fake license plate that just says private on it.
It's the plate that I put on here. Let it be known that I'm a private entity. This is a private vehicle, not an automobile, and I'm not operating in commerce.
Okay.
Cool. Still need a license.
Yep.
Do you have your driver's license on you?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do we have insurance on the vehicle yet?
I just told you it's the same situation.
I don't
You don't remember?
Sir, I talk to a lot of people, and so I don't quite, I mean, I remember your face. I don't really remember your name or anything like that, so.
Hey, look, a passport. Cool. That'll identify you, but it's not what you need to legally drive a vehicle on public roads.
Do you have a driver's license on?
The funny thing about the passports, by the way, if you're not familiar, one of the reasons that they do the passport instead of the driver's license, of course, they don't think driver's licenses are necessary, but the reason that they'll use a passport instead of nothing when they do use a passport, if you've never had a passport, I guess I don't know every passport, but at least in United States passports, there's a little phrase in it that effectively says something along the lines of, like, please let this citizen of the United States go along unimpeded or something. And apparently they think that that's just in general. They don't understand that that's like verbiage from like legal language regarding treaties that countries have with each other about passports and how they agree to let citizens of their countries mutually visit each other with their passports. They think it's just a general proclamation that anyone who sees this has to let you go on their way. Like it's psychic paper from Doctor Who. Which is not how any of this works, obviously, but that's why they'll give a passport sometimes, because there's a little phrase in there about, like, letting this person go on their way freely or something. Completely misused, of course. They're sovereign citizens.
I have one, but I don't carry it no more, because I'm not required to have it.
Okay, then can I have...
Well, that's incorrect. Flying Man, thanks for following.
Have you step out of the vehicle, please?
Yep.
Thank you.
What am I stepping out of my vehicle for?
So, In the state, so I know you feel the way that you feel, right? And I'm not here to debate that with you right now, but in the state of Michigan, you're required to carry your driver's license on your
Oh, look, it's Michigan again. We did it, Michigan. Yay.
person while you're driving. If not, it is a misdemeanor. It is called no ops on person.
Okay.
So I'm going to have you step out of the vehicle, please.
And again, that does not explain why I'm stepping out of my vehicle.
Yes, it does.
Because he's probably going to arrest you for not having a license or insurance or registration. I don't think it's that hard to understand, to be honest.
Because I'm going to detain you in
Thanks to Praved Ambiance.
a pair of handcuffs. So I'm going to ask you nicely one more time to please step out of the vehicle.
So because I don't have my, maybe I should let you detain me and then sue you for false arrest because you
When the threats of the lawsuits come out, that's always my favorite. Like, they think they have more power in the situation than they do. Sue them. I don't think it's gonna go your way. What a waste of time.
you cannot
Okay, I didn't
detain me.
say, okay,
You cannot put handcuffs on me because I don't have a license, something that I just went through this with you with.
okay.
I'm sorry, he thinks that you can't put handcuffs on someone without a driver's license? That's not how that works. Is he aware that handcuffs or shackles, restraining devices, predate driver's licenses by quite a bit? It's an oddly specific misgiving to have. You can't shackle me. I have no driver's license.
Oh, matter of fact,
You
there
do
go.
have it on you. Okay, awesome. That is all I needed
But
from
you know what? I do want to be
I appreciate that we're getting separate camera angles. It's very cinematic.
put handcuffs on me because I don't have a license, something that I just went through this with you with.
Okay,
Oh, matter of fact,
you
there
do
go.
have it on you. Okay,
Nemesis.
awesome. That is all I needed
But
from
you know what? I do want to be detained because we had this conversation before that
I'm
a
not
driver
gonna,
license,
so now I
a
have
driver
nothing
license-
to detain you for. So
a
I'm
driver
going to give you
license,
this.
insurance, and plates is not a requirement. I have not committed a crime, so you had no reason to pull me over. And I hope your cameras.
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, I'm gonna need a copy of that too.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right. May you please sit back in the vehicle now?
Okay. But you just, matter of fact, let me call my attorney because see,
Okay.
you
Actually,
start
now that you're out of the vehicle, I'm gonna have you stay out, and we're gonna go to the front of my car. Okay?
for what? Because if you conduct an illegal search and seizure.
I'm not searching nothing.
Okay, so
No, sir.
why am I stepping to the back of my vehicle?
'Cause-
see, you're doing a whole lot of things that's unconstitutional and against the law.
Okay.
So why you didn't have me step out of my vehicle?
Okay. Now we're gonna go this way, please.
Okay, let's
I
go.
have seen so many more people with the folding phones now. I was ahead of the curve on that one. Toriador says, "Hey, and I love your outfit. My girlfriend and I are going to a furry drag show as houseflies this weekend, complete with big-ass bug eye glasses and full fly key goo. We plan on being barflies and flies on the wall. That's cute. That's fun."
All right. Thank you. All right. I'm gonna make sure you don't got nothing on you. Okay. All right. So now I'm gonna have you sit right here, please.
Flies count as furry. Carapace doesn't roll off the tongue as well.
Thank you. All right. And so just to be clear, you still do not have insurance on the vehicle.
No, I don't.
Okay. All right.
And you said you had me step back here for what now? I had me step out of my vehicle for what now?
So at first you told me that you did not have a driver's license on you, right?
That's
Which is a
right.
misdemeanor.
And that's a crime for you to have me step out of my vehicle. I committed a crime for you to pull me over, correct?
Your plate.
And that's a crime, correct?
It is
That is an infraction.
the civil infraction. You didn't
Is
have
it
a
a
plate on
crime?
the vehicle. It's an
It's certainly probable cause to pull you over. Is that what you're looking for? Are you trying to say, was there probable cause? Because there was.
improper plate.
It's improper.
Yes,
so
sir.
The U.S. Supreme Court has not said that I do not need a plate, license, or insurance as long as I'm not functioning in commerce. Is this what you...
The Constitution says that the states are allowed to have their own rules as long as they aren't in direct conflict with federal law. And the federal law has never said that you can't require driver's license, registration, insurance, etc. So the states are free to do that. Fun fact.
you're saying?
Okay, so you have an improper plate on your vehicle, sir. That
I'm
is a-
asking, because see, when I take this into the
Okay.
courtroom and
Yep.
send this to the U.S. Supreme Court to show that y'all are ignoring court rulings,
It's always funny when they're like, I'm going to send this to the Supreme Court, As if, like, going to the Supreme Court is the easiest thing in the world. I was listening earlier to one of Cameron's live streams, because he does, like, weekly live streams with his group. I don't show those on stream because they're, like, 3 hours long. So I just watch them in my own time for entertainment and to keep up on the stuff that him and his group believe. And somewhere in there, someone was like, well, what if they don't do that? And Cameron offhandedly similarly said, oh, then we're going to take it to the Supreme Court. And it's like, do these people think that, like, it's easy to get a case to the Supreme Court, or that it happens often? Like, if you were a random trial attorney, the chances of you in your lifetime ever arguing a case in front of the Supreme Court are slim to none. It would be like if you, how do I explain this? Like, imagine if you were a college football player in, like, your freshman year and you were like, we're going to the Super Bowl, baby. And it's like, you're not even in the NFL yet. You haven't even been drafted. That's kind of what's happening here. Non-lawyers claiming that they're not only going to successfully argue a case, but get it to the Supreme Court. Although I guess they would have to unsuccessfully do the case initially, and then on appeal, and then on that appeal, until you appeal all the way up to the Supreme Court, at which point they'll win, according to them. It's just not how anything works. I don't know why they think they're going to argue in front of the Supreme Court. It's not happening.
Okay,
Then
so
that gives me more ground to do what I'm going to do, legal-wise.
So I'm asking
you.
Hannah's keeping the good sob stuff for herself. Here's the thing. It's really not that interesting. I find it interesting because this kind of stuff is, like, one of my special interests. But it would legitimately just be you and I and everyone sitting for 3 hours and listening to their live streams. And it's not interesting unless you condense it down to, like, out of the entire 3 hours, there's probably 15 minutes of interesting material to talk about. Which is why, as I told you guys, I gave myself a 10-day deadline for the medbed video that I'm finishing up. So that'll be out soon. And I'm not trying to get ahead of myself, but the next video I want to do one on Cameron and maybe Brandon Joe Williams, because there is interesting stuff in those live streams, but there's just there's such volume. You got to condense it down and edit the clips together to sort of, like, show the narrative of how batshit these groups are getting.
Asking you, are you?
The answer is very, by the way, very batshit. There was a stream earlier, or a premiere on YouTube Cameron posted of him and his group, Power Inherent in the People, going and serving notice to a police department. Unfortunately, it is not live anymore after the initial premiere. It appears he took it down, or at least it's processing or something. So hopefully that'll be back up so we can watch it together. But I watched it earlier today when it was live, and it was just... it was very delusional. Very delusional. Nah, I'm alright. I appreciate the offer, Trey, but it's a lot of material, and it's stuff I would have to personally go through anyway, for the writing, like, initial writing phase of that video. But I appreciate the thought. Carpcosian with 50 stream streak says, I'm growing corn, potato, and beans in my garden. The eggplants are nearly ready to pick up. Soon I'll go to a concert again. I love my cats. Oh, that felt like a very, how do I put this? As someone with ADHD, that train of thought felt ADHD-esque. Respectfully.
Avoiding a U.S. Supreme Court case ruling.
Do you have a preference on who tows your vehicle?
You want to tow my vehicle, knock yourself out. Because then I could charge you for that too, because my vehicle is registered as a secure party under UCC-1.
Okay, well, it needs to be registered with a state, so maybe do that.
So if you want to do anything you want to do what you feel like.
Okay, do you have a preference on who tows it?
Whoever you want to have tow it.
Okay, so a vehicle to be on the roadway in the state of Michigan must have insurance, okay?
It does.
You told me it doesn't.
Now, I'm telling you, this is what you're telling me, that you're avoiding a U.S. Supreme Court case ruling. Is this what you're doing?
What Supreme Court case do you think says that you don't need a license, so I can explain why you're wrong? Toreador with 100 bits and a link says, look at this cute moth fursuit. This is Cardboard City. Yes, furries kaiju around, and by the end of the panel, the city is destroyed. I actually kind of love that as an idea. They like, what, they have like a cardboard city that they stop. Okay, that's pretty fun. And that is a cute outfit. Okay, back to the video.
Do you have insurance for the car?
No, I don't. See, he wrote me a ticket before. He knows this stuff already. He knows that we already have a hearing going on. So this is just compiling onto not harassment.
It's not harassment. You keep breaking the same laws. Like, imagine if every day you went into a bank and tried to rob it and they kept arresting you and letting you out on bail. But every day you keep going back and they keep arresting you and you're like, this is harassment. And it's like, no, you were supposed to stop doing the crime upon your first arrest. Ideally, before the first arrest. You shouldn't have done it in the first place, but certainly not repetitiously and with great rapidity.
Because we had this conversation.
Better than Mothra. I won't have this Mothra slander. Batra? Sure. Fuck Batra. But Mothra? Not in my house.
Once before, when we was over there, and he said, yeah, I know, we got to go to court, and there's a reason why they haven't did the hearing yet.
Yes.
So I'm asking you, are you voiding a U.S. Supreme Court case?
So the first time that I stopped you, you had a plate on the vehicle. You don't. Now this is a completely improper plate. So that was the reason for the stop
Did
today.
the plate have tags on there? Because you stopped me because the tags was expired. So that, according to you, is that or is that not an improper plate?
This plate right here isn't a valid Michigan plate. So, state of Michigan, you have to have a plate. It has to be registered.
This is what I'm showing. This we've already went through before. Okay. U.S. Supreme Court says I do not have to have a license plate, driver license, or insurance.
Incorrect. And frankly, if that was true, you would go to court and it would be the easiest thing ever. You would just say, here's the Supreme Court ruling that says this. And they'd go, oh, shit, you're right. I can't believe we still even have traffic courts for shit like this. Crazy. But that's not how it works. Because you're wrong. And the world would not operate as it does if you were right. So look at the world and say, oh, this is not this is not congruous with the things I believe, but the world nonetheless is the solid thing instead of the vaporous bullshit in my brain. So I should probably adjust the shit in my brain, because I'm not going to adjust the solid stuff out here. You know what I mean?
To operate as long as I'm not operating in commerce. Did I not show you that ruling?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
Nope. So hang tight with my partner, please.
Yeah, okay.
Here's what I can tell you, and I'm not trying to be difficult. I've run into this plenty of times.
Mm-hmm.
I've been an officer for 18 years here in Battle Creek. Right, run into this plenty of times.
Jay's a Proxy says, I don't think about it, but pretty much every traffic court would cease if what they wanted happened. And it's like, how do I put this? Like, if what they were saying was true, there would be other entities that would be spending time and resources arguing these things, like companies would be doing so, right? I understand that they say that, like, oh, in commerce you need a license or whatever, but if there were these loopholes, companies would still go out of their way to try and use them, or special interest groups, right? But none of that is happening because these loopholes that they think exist don't. It's just pure fantasy.
You do have to have a plate on your car. If the car's driving on the road, it has to have insurance. So those are violations. No.
So can you read this for me, please, sir?
Well, so here's what
I'm trying to get y'all to.
If I pulled up the state law for Michigan that said you have to have your vehicle registered through the Secretary of State and it has to be insured in order to travel on the roadways, would that make any difference to you right now?
No, it wouldn't, because the U.S. Supreme Court has already ruled, and that.
No, they haven't. Stop repeating things you heard idiots say on the internet. I say this as an idiot on the internet. We're all stupid. Stop listening to internet people. I understand it's a contradiction, but this is the last thing you should do from an internet person that you should trust. Stop listening to internet people.
That applies to a vehicle, not an automobile, and they are specific in their language. That's why I asked you to read this. That's why I'm asking him.
In 18 years, I've heard this argument a lot of times. Not once has it ever been overturned at what he's doing. Not once has it been overturned at the state level for any case that I've ever been part of, where if somebody's driving without their vehicle registered, and we're talking here in Battle Creek, right?
Okay. Now let me ask you a question, because I do have
Battle Creek. Okay. Overthought says, one thing I don't think I've seen brought up to sovsits is that the state, county, or city owns the roads. Normally, sovsits are all about who owns it and makes the rules for it. State owns the road. They make the rules for who can drive on it and how. And this is the part where the sovereign citizen goes, no, they're public roads. We paid for them with our tax dollars, so they're ours. Even though usually sovereign citizens, in my experience, don't pay their taxes, but they'll still use it as a rhetorical device. And then you get into a philosophical discussion about which way power runs when we're talking about a democracy. And like, yes, they're publicly owned, but they're publicly owned through the state. The state owns them. And yes, what you're saying is correct, but they will never accept it because fundamentally, as a philosophical axiom, they will not accept the idea that anything has more power than them as an individual, including the state, which is delusional, because historically, the state is the thing that has had the most power over the most people. It's kind of like it's basically a tautology, right? It's almost a self-defining. The entity that has the most power over people in a given society is the state. So it's wild to me that they're like, no, I'm just gonna decide that that's not the case. I don't know about that.
I have a copy of you guys' oath and obligation.
Hello, Baha. How are you?
Are you not obligated to enforce the U.S. Constitution? Did you not take an oath to do that?
I sure did.
Does the U.S. Constitution not state that we are not required to have a license to operate a vehicle? On the words of Congress, that you cannot convert a privilege into a right, or a right into a privilege. Does it not say that in the U.S. Constitution?
Right. You don't have a right to drive a car on public roads. You have a right to travel, which you can do. You can walk, you can bike, but you need a license to drive a car. You need a license to operate something like a plane or a helicopter. Again, it's not really a crazy thing when we're talking about public safety. Freyline with 40-bit says, as a Mothman, or as a Mothwoman, are you a portent of disaster, or do you bring disaster? I prefer to be a portent, alright? I want to warn people, like, ooh, watch out, your crops are gonna be bad this year! You know? Sometimes you gotta be the messenger that brings bad news. People don't like it, but that's helpful.
So what this boils down to is an interpretation
Like a spooky Cassandra
of the wording, and I'm just telling you, this is the instruction that we have through our city attorney, right? This is the courts. We will operate here in the state of Michigan, right, under Michigan law. Michigan law requires you to have a plate and have your vehicle insured.
Now the next question is, does Michigan law supersede the U.S. Supreme Court?
The Supreme Court has not said they can't do this, so that question doesn't make any sense in the given context.
Or does Michigan law supersede the U.S. Constitution? See,
they exist beside each other in this case because they're not contradictory. If there was a contradiction, then of course federal law would supersede state law, but it doesn't. It's okay. They can exist at the same time.
It's the thing that I know what y'all are taught, right? But in the end, it's going to boil down to you guys are...
when do you... And that's not me being a smart aleck. When do you think that the end that it boils down to will be? Because every end where something boils down to, like this same situation, in the end, when it all boils down, you are required to have a plate and insurance.
Okay, well...
So I don't know when...
It boils down to when you go into the courtroom, the court's like, you know what, we don't want to deal with this. We're not going to have a hearing on it. We're not going to even rule on it. So that way there's no record to prove.
This is incredible. This is one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this, because this answers a question. And I've heard other sovereign citizens, like on the internet, in text say this, but I've never seen a sovereign citizen verbally say this. So I was never sure if it was someone trolling and just pretending to be a sovereign citizen. But this to me is pretty solid confirmation of the answer to the question, how do sovereign citizens continue to believe this works when all of the evidence shows it doesn't? All of the court cases where it fails online, the videos of the windows smashing. I can't believe this, but I have to, because I'm seeing it with my own eyes. You know? It's like George Clooney in that one movie. I don't want to hear I don't believe in vampires, because I don't believe in fucking vampires, but what I just saw was fucking vampires. I know this is crazy, but apparently sovereign citizens think that the reason there's no evidence that they win their cases is because the courts are just so embarrassed and don't want the truth to get out. So they hide all the cases, and apparently this guy thinks most of the cases are secretly winners, and they just don't put it through the system to protect the system. Like, it doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense. But he believes it, and here he is saying it on camera like it's the sanest thing in the world.
That what you're saying is correct, because we know what the U.S. Supreme Court have ruled in the lower court.
Yeah, name me a Supreme Court case, sir. Just a Peach with a dollar tip says, there was this one vid where the cop about plowing the roads of Boston, and that was why the city and state own the roads. The Sovsit did not know what plowing was because they were there for work. Oh, they didn't know what snow plowing was? Oh.
Cannot, nor can a police officer or peace officer change a ruling of a U.S. Supreme Court judge.
And so that ruling.
Look at his face. He's like, I gotcha. And it's like, no, the smugness is not called for whatsoever. Get the smugness off of the visage. Not good. Not good. Tori with 50 bits says, it's not Mothmen in your closet you have to worry about. It's caterpillar men that actually eat holes in your clothing. Mothmen don't actually usually have mouth parts or feed during the adult stage of their life. They just show up, portend untold horrors, breed and die. Oh, what a life.
It hasn't happened, right? That's
It
why we're
has
still
happened.
out here. That's why we're still out here enforcing this law.
You're enforcing it because you don't know it.
Midnight with 54 months says, hiding the proof seems to be a common thing in all conspiracy theories. Yeah, it's almost like none of the things they think are happening are really happening.
So it's funny, right? Because if you when you go into the courtroom and the court's like, you know what, this is correct, and they dismiss the case. So what?
That has never happened in all the years I've been doing this, and it's been some years at this point. That has never, ever happened, ever, for a sovereign citizen. The only times I have ever seen anything dismissed is because a cop doesn't show up to testify, or similar, like, procedural error. Never once, and I say this with all of the confidence I have, which is not a lot. I'm not a confident person. I say this as much as I know that gravity exists, right? That the earth is round. Sovereign citizen arguments are not effective. They do not work. They have never worked. They will never work. Please stop it.
But your guys are still enforcing it, so it's going to take like a major. And I'm not being, because you're not being rude with me. I'm not doing, and I don't want to go this route, but it's going to take a major lawsuit, a civil matter, in order for people to stop violating people's rights.
Good luck with that.
Because you guys are not attorneys. You don't go to courts or go to law.
As opposed to you, who I'm sure, just like Cameron, is definitely a very real attorney and not just a guy who says it.
school to learn the law. Y'all only enforce penal codes, to which I can show you U.S. Supreme Court ruling in the states that all rules, regulations, and codes are for you guys and you guys alone, not for men, not for natural people, which is in clear language.
What about like the Supreme Court, like Pennsylvania versus Mims, and things where the Supreme Court has ruled like we can't have you step out of the car?
Okay, there has to be a crime being committed before you can have me step out.
Sure.
Terry v. Ohio, what's called a Terry stop.
That's different. That has to.
That's a different thing. Yeah, I was about to say, what the fuck? He looks smug, but those are different cases. Like again, like this is a good example of like a Dunning-Kruger thing. Like he's listened to other sovereign citizens and he's heard of specific cases, probably like a half dozen cases or so that he's heard. And he thinks that that's the bulk of the knowledge. He's like, I know it. I know 5 or 6 things. I know most of the things. When in reality, law, state law, federal law, how they interact, constitutional law, like these are all huge topics that people spend their entire legal careers like diving into if that's their speciality. But he thinks he can learn like 6 things on the internet and all of a sudden he knows more than everyone else. Like, it's completely delusional, and he's so smug about it. Believe me, I know smug, okay? I'm a streamer.
With a search.
Okay, in order for you to conduct a search, you have to do what?
You have to have reasonable suspicion. Terry versus Ohio is about a pat down search.
Right, a search. So in order for you to,
but to have you step from
out,
a vehicle,
that means I have to be done something that caused suspicious for you to pull me over. Meaning that I have to be committed a crime.
Okay, so there is probable cause for pulling you over, and it's the lack of license plate, the fake plate you had on the car. Period. End of.
So Pennsylvania versus Mims, actually the Supreme Court said we can have anybody step out of the car.
Show you my smug face. All right, let's do a smug face. We got this. There you go.
Look that one up.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure that before that there has to be a cause. You can't just.
We have to have a reason to stop you.
Right.
Which that plate is a valid reason to stop.
Is that a crime?
It's a valid reason to stop you.
Is it a crime?
Again, you don't need to be committing a crime to be stopped. There needs to be probable cause, right? And a traffic infraction or a moving violation or, you know, I forget, what's the specific wording for when you don't have a license plate? I forget the word. I forget the specific phrasing. But whatever it is, that's a reason. Crime is a specific subset of illegality. It's not the totality of the law.
It's a civil infraction.
Juggle, will do.
It's a violation.
You've seen me look smugger? I believe it. I'm a reaction content creator. It's kind of in the job description, isn't it? Let's look at people that are different than us and laugh about it. This will make us feel better about our lives. This is very healthy.
It's a violation of Michigan statute.
Is it a crime? Because you can't. A person can walk down the street and he looks suspicious, so I stopped him. So that really don't.
Is it a crime if you don't use your turn signal?
But I did use my turn signal.
No, I'm saying, is it that would be a crime?
Actually, no, it wouldn't be.
It'd be a civil infraction.
Again,
It's still a valid stop.
I'm gonna read this again.
You with me on that?
I'm gonna read this again. U.S. Supreme Court decisions, all codes, rules, and regulations are for governments. So, and government alone. So you are trying to enforce a what? A code, a penal code, an MCL, which is only for government officials, according to the U.S. Supreme Court, not the Supreme Court of some other state, because every court.
Could I pull you over if you ran a stop sign?
Could you?
Judge Simpson said he's not allowing Sovsits to have charges dropped once they've made themselves known, only pleas and trials in his court for Sovsits now. That's good. That's not entirely up to him, because a prosecutor can still drop the case, right? But still, I'm not against that. I really don't know what else to do at this point. The sovereign citizen problem has only gotten worse. Like, I'm not even joking. In the time I've done this, it's just gotten worse and worse. And, like, I know we have fun here, and most of the time it's not, like, a huge deal, right? Most sovereign citizens are just ignorant or delusional people going out of their way, and it just takes up cops' time, right? It's not the biggest deal in the world most of the time, but it would be disingenuous to act as though there aren't sovereign citizens who go to extremes and actively harm people. Look at Desi Freeman out of Australia, who just shot a couple cops like weeks ago, and I still think they haven't caught him. He's still on the run. So, like a lot of conspiratorial thinking, like it's getting to the point where there's enough of them that the fringe extremists that make up, the 0.01% of this already quite strange group, they're out there, they exist, they're an issue.
I'm asking.
I mean,
Harold Ebelman with the 7-stream streak says, 7 streams. I'm in a parking lot at my local mega hospital waiting for my parents after they were in a multi-car pileup by that Flurf debunking Lake Pontchartrain bridge. They're just a little bruised, but they're early boomers, so safety first. For insurance reasons, I hope no one in that mess was a sobsit. My goodness! I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm glad that they seem to be doing okay, all things considered, but that's incredibly scary.
according
Would it
to
be a valid stop?
according to what y'all are taught, it would be. But according to what I just
What
read,
about
and this
what
is
you
not a
believe?
misinterpretation,
What about what you believe?
I believe in
The prosecution agreed with him and apologized for trying to drop some. Oh, that's good.
what I read. I believe in what the courts have already said and ruled on. Said there's a reason why they have ruled on it and went this route about it because of this type of incident, of going this way.
Yeah.
It's not my fault that y'all don't want to accept it, or you need to feel, or you feel like you need to be in control of things, or you feel like laws is here to govern when we are supposed to be self-governed.
Again, the self-governing thing. Society is self-governing, at least in theory. Again, ideally, society is self-governing in that we elect representatives to, like, make laws and interpret those laws if it's like a judiciary thing, Like, I don't understand why that's hard for them to get. No society in human history has been like, just do whatever you want. Don't worry about it. It's not an effective way to run a civilization, my friends. You need some rules. I get it. I am anti-authoritarian, so I understand that things can get too much. I know you can overdo it. I don't know how to break it to you, though. Driver's tests are not the line. Insurance, not the line.
I'm not arguing. I'm just wondering where you draw the line. Like
I draw
on
the
a
line-
civil infraction. Say somebody was going 100 miles an hour down this road right here. Would that be a valid reason for me to stop you?
For you, yeah.
Would it for you? Do you think that that's?
I mean, I would look at it as endangering someone's life.
It's still what's the law that was broke? It's still infraction. It's speeding. The speed limits are set up.
But again,
It's an MCL code.
right, according to the U.S.
So-
Supreme Court. So that's something that y'all need to address with the U.S. Supreme
No,
Court.
I'm asking what your personal belief on that one.
I'm believing what I'm. This is what the court. I believe that as a private individual, that's self-governed. I'm not going to use the word that everybody else uses because nobody can explain why they are what this claim to be. But as a private individual, and this is by Hinkle versus Hale. As an individual, I do not have to open my doors to investigation. I don't have to talk to y'all or say anything as long as I'm not impeding on the rights of another human being. But as a corporation, which
No, at a traffic stop, you're required to identify yourself and provide your license, registration, insurance. Those are things that you do have to do in a traffic stop.
I'm not a corporation, then I do not have a right to refuse to open my doors because you're not talking to a corporation.
Mr. Williams.
Sir?
So just one thing I want to make you aware of too. So you are non-compliant on your sex offender registry. So
I've already talked to them.
I would just probably.
Oh, shit, I forgot. There you go. Yep. Oh, he's a sex offender. Oh, I can't. I can't imagine why he doesn't want the law to apply to him. There you go. Oh boy. And yeah, you guys can't see the description on the right, but I will say, it's criminal sexual conduct in the 3rd degree, person 13 to 15. If you care about the specifics, that's what he was convicted of.
I've already talked to them. They know that I am on disability, so therefore they're
All right, I feel less bad about making fun of this guy now.
supposed to be taking care of that.
I just like to let people know.
Okay.
So, and then I did issue 2 citations today. Okay.
No insurance.
For no insurance and improper plate.
Okay. That's
Those
fine.
both of those tickets are misdemeanor in nature, so
I
you have to go
understand
to
that.
court for those.
And we already have one in court pending, so I just add this to it. But I like how you never answered the question of, are you avoiding?
Listen, please listen. Because I am towing your vehicle, okay, I'm going to inventory your vehicle. Is there anything I'm going to find in there?
So you're towing my vehicle.
Yes, sir.
Knock yourself out.
Is there anything I'm going to... Nope.
Nope. I got to make sure. I got to see what I got in there.
Okay. Is there anything that shouldn't be in there that I would find? No. Okay. All right. I'll just have you hang back with while I do that, and then we're going to wait for the tow truck, and then you'll be on your way.
And where's my vehicle being towed to?
Buds and Pound.
Buds and Pound.
Or
okay.
you can pay to have it towed to your residence.
And how much is that?
That I don't know.
Okay. And how long is this going to take?
That I don't. It depends on when Buds gets here.
All right.
They should be here within 30 minutes.
All right.
That's part of their contract.
Wonder how often they're not. The way the cop said that, it almost feels like they don't show up within 30 minutes like they're supposed to per their contract. I'm probably reading too far into it, but I'm feeling animosity between the station and the tow company. We're not on the Cameron video yet. We'll get there. That'll probably be the next one we cover.
I don't necessarily understand where you're coming from, but I hear you.
Okay.
All right? I hear
Yes,
you.
sir. I need to get my keys out of my vehicle.
I gotta ask, I'm just assuming, do they just train the cops like certain phrases to say to difficult people in traffic stops, like I hear ya, because it's like non-committal. It's not like saying I agree with you. It's just like I hear ya. It's kind of a vacuous statement, but it's an acknowledgement. I hear cops say it a lot to sovereign citizens, to the point that I feel like it's something in the training that they probably tell them to say to difficult people.
And secure my vehicle. Is that all right?
I can grab your keys for you. They're in the ignition.
They're in ignition.
Okay.
Roll my windows
I
up.
should point out, Cameron often, when we do get to the Cameron video, whenever Cameron says, like, a cop agreed with me and said he knows all this, it's because cops say non-committal, vacuous statements like that to him, where they're like, I hear ya, and in his narcissistic brain, in my opinion, I'm using it colloquially, not clinically, in his narcissistic brain, he goes, they said they heard me! They know I'm right!
Up and lock my doors.
Okay.
Can you leave the ignition key so that Buds doesn't just
I'm
drag
going
it
to
up
be.
there?
I'm going to be here because I'm going to pay whatever it is to have my vehicle towed.
They are not in the ignition, sir.
Yep, I got them on.
There you go.
Yep.
You're up to ready.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Are you removing private property from a vehicle, from my vehicle?
Yes, sir. The plate is not legal to be on the roadway, so it's
Knock
an
yourself
improper-
out. Go ahead. Because the Fourth Amendment clearly states that you cannot take private property without just compensation. I'm letting you know.
Okay.
And
Sir, it's evidence. It's evidence. He's gonna take it.
all this is being recorded, so knock yourself out. And your oath is what? That you have an obligation to uphold and enforce the
You're good, take
Constitution.
plate.
What you asking them for? You done already made, sir. I'm asking you, baby.
I'm helping. You know what? I know we can take an improper plate that's a Secretary of State issued plate. I don't know if we can take that plate.
Okay.
I've seen other cops take it before, and it might be a state-by-state thing. The cop is being overly cautious, I think. Because I've seen other cops take the fake sovereign citizen plates all the time as evidence.
We'll leave your plate.
Just like you cannot
can
take
call
that
it.
vehicle. But
Well,
I'm finna have.
Oh, they're taking the vehicle.
he can tow the vehicle.
He can tow the vehicle, right?
Yep.
Just like
But I don't know
finna-
about the plate.
Just like I
Well, you
have a
can.
copy already. He already
Right,
know I
so
have a copy of
Michigan
his bond, Kristen
license
Fields.
plate
So I'm
belongs
finna
to the
snatch
Secretary
that,
of State.
and I'm finna start placing liens on your property. Let's see how you like that. See, that's what this is for the boy down.
Oh, he's threatening the cops by saying he's gonna lien them. Yikerinos.
All because you want to try to act like you're something that you're not. You're not a police officer, you're a peace officer. Learn who you are and learn who you're dealing with when you're dealing with citizens, private citizens. And since you want to go there, and I know this is being recorded, because I get the copy of that, you're dealing with a sovereign citizen. You do know what that is, right? Right? Oh, don't. And you never answered the question, are you voiding, or do you have jurisdiction or authority to void a U.S. Supreme Court case ruling? You never answered that. Why is that?
Because you're ranting like a crazy person and your questions are nonsensical.
Again, this is where we're playing with words.
No, I'm not playing with words.
When does he get arrested? I don't think he gets arrested. I think he just goes to court at the end of this. And we've seen the court video already.
It is. What he's doing right now is enforcing Michigan state law.
Right, but the U.S.
And
Supreme Court supersedes to
what-
which
and
all
what
of y'all
you're
are bound by. Are you or are you not?
We're bound by the Constitution, yes. But here's the thing.
Are you not bound by U.S. Supreme Court rulings? Are you not?
Are there a lot of rulings that say you have to follow the Michigan state law?
Why is nobody answering this question? Are you or are you not bound by U.S. Supreme Court case rulings?
Because it's irrelevant, because the Supreme Court doesn't say what you think it does.
We're talking about two different things here.
No,
Yes, we are.
Okay, that's all I want to know.
Are you or are you not bound by Michigan state law?
According to the U.S. Supreme Court, no, I'm not. I am a private individual. I'm not a corporation.
Incorrect.
See, these Michigan penal codes, that's why y'all refuse to read what people give y'all to read. These are U.S. Supreme Court cases, and I'm going to keep saying this because I like it to be a report. So you not have no plausible deniability of saying we didn't know what I'm telling you. But you, Bailey, this has nothing to do with you. I've dealt with him before, and he already knows this. He knows that we have something going on in court, but you want to act like you don't know. But since you don't know, then we're gonna go your route. We're gonna do this your way.
There's that smugness again. Where is
Then
this
you gonna
coming
hate me even
from?
more. Oh, he's a
I
smart.
don't hate you at all.
You gonna? Because then when you can't explain to your girlfriend, wife, or your children why he's not taking our property, because you didn't uphold or follow the oath that you took as an officer. I, Christian Fields, have taken an oath to uphold and follow the U.S. Constitution, state Constitution, Michigan Constitution. I will not do what? Violate this. But here it is, you're doing what? So therefore, that makes my claim against your bond what? And it's all on camera. I didn't know. He told me.
Absolutely delusional. Huh.
All right, we can find out from them what it would cost to have it.
No
Where
problem.
where would you want it?
I was just going right around the corner. You know when we had our conversation that once before when your other partner pulled me over and you pulled up and tried to talk to me like
Let me ask you. And how would you be able to pay for that?
I was going to be with a car.
With a card?
Yep.
All right.
Hold on.
Surprised you're not having an
I gotta-
impounded, to be
I
honest.
gotta take pictures and
This traffic stop. It's not
This
mine.
track.
Yes, sir. Just like
This is a private vehicle. This is not none in commerce. But now, is it possible to do a split payment? Because I don't know if the whole 176 is on there, like 170 there, and then accounts 8.
All right. Let's look at the court appearance real quick. I think we've seen this, but for people who haven't seen it, it'll give you a little bit of catharsis on this, and then we'll move on to the Cameron video.
Of the U.S. Supreme Court. Question I have is, will the laws of the U.S. Supreme Court be applicable, and the federal statutes and definitions of motor vehicle and automobile be applicable in this proceeding?
They are the state of Michigan laws that will be applicable.
Okay. The other question is, are you already not bound by U.S. Supreme Court rulings?
every court is bound by relevant Supreme Court rulings.
So it makes the court
Okay, I
supreme.
did inform Officer Kelly that I am not operating a motor vehicle, but I am operating an automobile. I did inform Officer Kelly of the ruling of Rodriguez
I got some makeup on my shirt before stream and I tried to wash it off. Not sure how well it went.
v. Ray Donovan,
Toreador says, I swear to God, I thought the judge was a genie out of the side of my eye.
U.S. Department of Labor,
Oh man, that'd be great if that's what Zombie got up to after Pee-wee's Playhouse.
769, Federal 2nd, 1344, where the U.S. Supreme Court's decision has ruled that all codes, rules, and regulations are for government authorities only
Thanks, Phoenix.
and not for human creators. In accordance with God laws, all codes, rules, and regulations are unconstitutional and lacking due process.
All right, I'm going to interrupt you just for a second. Are you telling me that a case at 769 Fed 2nd 1344 indicates that all laws are unconstitutional?
All codes, rules, and regulations. Yes, sir. Rodriguez v. Ray Donovan. And
What an oversight! We didn't notice that this one law made all of the codes and statutes obsolete. What a shame.
if
Well,
I'm not mistaken,
and
That's a pretty big whoopsie, huh?
You said that was the
We're gonna have to vacate a lot of convictions.
Department of what?
U.S. Department of Labor.
Okay, U.S.
You think that the Department of Labor has something in its codes or whatever that says laws are illegal?
Department of Labor doesn't publish decisions in the Fed 2nd. Can you tell me a little bit more about the case? What was at issue in the case?
It was regarding what we're discussing here, the requirements of a driver's license and the need when it's required to have one, stating that when you're not operating commerce, to which I informed the officer that I am not operating commerce as stated in USC 18 USCA 31 paragraph A6 states that a motor vehicle, the term of motor vehicle meaning every description of carriage, contrivance, propelled or drawn.
Contrivance. For why? I've heard other sovereign citizens not be able to pronounce this either. Contrivance. For fuck's sake. I know. I have an addictive personality, and when I was a kid, I was hooked on phonics.
Or mechanical powered and used for commercial purposes.
So what they're doing right now is he's reading from a specific part of the UCC or the Federal Uniform Commercial Code. That is the definition of a motor vehicle very specifically within the Federal Uniform Commercial Code. It is not the definition for an automobile everywhere. That's not how laws work. That's not how any of this works.
This is what Title 18 USCA Section 31A6 states or defines as a motor vehicle, to which I am not operating in commerce. I'm not using
for the purposes of that particular chapter of the United States Code. It would not control what happens in terms of the Michigan legislature defining in Chapter 257 what a motor vehicle is, and an automobile
right
under Michigan law is a motor vehicle. But okay, continue.
Right, it's a motor vehicle, which is described as anything, even by the Michigan compliance statute of 751, which you just stated, is determined as something that's transporting goods, which I'm not transporting goods.
No.
I understand your position, and I can tell you that that position doesn't happen to be legally correct. But go ahead.
So you're basically
legit. He thought he was going to get into court and the judge was going to be like, oh, you know the secret laws. Okay, let's turn the cameras off and we'll let you get away. And then here's $1 million for your trouble.
Saying that there's a misinterpretation of what's in black and white.
Yes, you are misunderstanding something that happens to be written in black and white. That is literally what is happening, yes. I don't know if you understand the difference between literacy and understanding. Like, you could read words and not understand what those words mean in the greater context of law. You can misinterpret something you read. It happens all the time to people.
No, I'm telling you that you have misinterpreted the application of 18 USC 31A6 and 769 F second or Fed second
Oh,
1344.
okay.
But
Well, I see where
I've
this
heard
is
your
going.
argument.
So I no, there will be no further arguments because I see that you're not going to agree to. Because, like I said, I have,
Well, I'm glad you agree to no further arguments.
and I've given it to you the cases where they're like Shapiro v. Thompson, where the U.S. Supreme Court has said that this a driver license is not a requirement. That this
Incorrect.
is you're trying to convert
Wasn't Shapiro v. Thompson a state Supreme Court decision anyway? Give me 1 second.
a right into a privilege, to which is covered by Article 1, Section
Well,
8, to which
I'll ask you this: is that right? The right to travel?
that is a right to travel, convey, however you want it, by the art by
Well,
the U.S.
you just
Constitution.
well, what you just told me was that
Oh, no. Shapiro v. Thompson. Okay, I got you. Shapiro v. Thompson is the one that used the 14th Amendment to say that you couldn't have durational residency requirements for public assistance. So basically, when you moved from one state to another, certain states were saying you have to be a resident within a state for a certain amount of time before you can apply for benefits. But the Supreme Court said no because of the Equal Rights Amendment. Basically, everyone who's a United States citizen has equal rights under the law. That's disenfranchising people, so you can't do that. So it has to do with equal protections under the 14th Amendment. So why the fuck does he think it means you don't need a driver's license? That's a little weird.
Somehow but regardless, am trying to convert a right into a privilege. Now, the question I have for you is what right has been converted to a privilege?
He would say traveling.
My right to freely travel
Okay, very
unencumbered
good.
and
Now,
unfettered.
Okay, but you can travel. You can't drive. You can't drive. That's not traveling.
I will ask you this. How is your right to travel removed by receiving the citation?
By trying to require me to have a license to operate a automobile, which is my private vehicle.
Okay. All right. Is there
That is
anything
my
else you want me
that,
to consider?
no, sir.
All right. Well, I can tell you this. The Michigan motor vehicle laws, including the laws that require you to carry insurance, that require your vehicle to be registered, and require that registration to be current, do not run in violation of any right to travel under the Constitution or the United States Supreme Court decision that you have cited. In fact, Michigan courts have held that essentially the right to travel means the
Why am I trying to measure you? I'm just curious.
right for you to move from A to B, not the right for you to travel from A to B under your most convenient way. So you could walk from point.
It's because he thinks driver's licenses are discriminatory. Interesting, but they're not, because by definition they're not discriminating. It's a standard test that anyone over the age of whatever the age is in the particular state can take. So it literally does not discriminate except by merit. You can discriminate. I wouldn't even use the word discriminate, but you can allow or disallow people licenses based on the merit or lack thereof of their ability, as long as it's not discriminatory based on protected class, right? And I know you know this, I'm just verbalizing it to explain why that's a shitty argument.
A to B all you wanted. You could take a taxi or an Uber or a plane or a train or a bus. But if you wish to travel...
I was confused for a sec, Carp Cozy, and why you were so in on this guy, and then I was like, oh yeah, sex offender. Shit. I forgot he was a sex offender for a sec. Fuck this guy. I'm being too nice to this guy. Fuck.
A motor vehicle, the Michigan laws are applicable and don't unconstitutionally interfere with the right to travel. It doesn't convert the right to travel into a privilege. You are not denied the right to travel. You may be denied the privilege of traveling via a motor vehicle that you are operating. So
Okay, so
that
I
that
stop
is
you.
that is what the law says, and that's what I'm finding.
Okay, I just appeal it, and that way I can make sure all citations are.
That's fine. I mean,
Great. You have a right to appeal that. Go for it.
I have no problem telling you you have the right to travel. I have no problem telling you you have the constitutional right to travel. All citizens do. No doubt about that.
One
But
question: is there a difference between a motor vehicle and an automobile? Is there a difference?
yes,
An automobile is a kind of motor vehicle, but not all motor vehicles are automobiles. Motorcycle is not an automobile, but it's a motor vehicle. Does that make sense?
all
Okay,
automobiles are
so
motor vehicles, but not all motor vehicles are automobiles.
okay, so
I always feel good when I try and come up with an answer and then the judge says the same thing. That's good.
is
I've been doing this long enough. I know the basic sovereign citizen bullshit at least. That's good. Overthought says, I was not operating a vehicle, sir. Do you see a scalpel in my hand? Am I in scrubs?
my automobile not my private personal automobile that's not being used in commerce?
I would have no idea the use of your motor vehicle, and it's not relevant to me for the purposes of deciding whether you're responsible for these civil infractions.
Okay. Well, I have nothing else for you to consider.
Well, very good.
Okay.
I'm letting you know the law does not make a distinction between your using the vehicle for personal reasons or you're using the vehicle for commercial reasons when
But this,
your registration plate is expired and
but
when
the,
you fail to show proof of insurance. Both of those are
but the
required
MCL
for,
language.
both of those are required under Michigan law for anyone operating any motor vehicle. That's what I can tell
Okay,
you. So
correct.
if you
A motor vehicle to which I am not operating a motor vehicle, and
Incorrect.
this is what we are trying to
I guess
circumvent.
yeah,
I am
and
operating my
it's not
automobile,
circumventing.
not a motor vehicle.
I can tell you that an automobile is considered a motor vehicle under the Michigan Motor Vehicle Code. So that's fine. Is there anything else you want me to consider?
Nope. Nope.
Very good. All right. So I've listened very carefully to the evidence. I do find that it's more likely than not that when you were required to at a traffic stop show proof that your vehicle was insured, that you failed to do so, and that it is more likely that your operator's, or not your operator's license, I'm sorry, the registration plates on the vehicle were expired. So I'm going to assess the $125 on the no proof of insurance case and the $110 on the expired plates case. The address that you want things sent to, Benton Harbor 49022. Is that correct?
That is the address. I don't know where the other address is coming from, but that is my address.
Well, I don't know what other address you're speaking of, but that's the address the court now has for you. So both of those judgments will go out in the mail on Monday. All right. Thank you both for your time and patience. You're all set. Have a very good day.
The thing at the bottom says, to date, the court ordered fines for this case and other cases have not been paid. So I'm assuming those are going to stack up until eventually he gets a bench warrant, gets stopped again, and then he'll have bigger problems, which is sort of the life cycle of this kind of thing. He'll not pay stuff and think it's not a big deal until it becomes a big deal. Speaking of that cycle, Cameron, once again, we saw about a minute of this a few weeks ago. He posted about a minute and a half of this video, so some of it, at least the initial parts, will look familiar. But this is now a 10-minute video he posted, so it's got much more content. So we will take a look at this, and then take a look at some other stuff. Sound good? Sounds good. Christopher says, do memberships block ads verbatim or just for streaming? I don't think memberships on YouTube block ads at all, unfortunately. I think on YouTube the only thing that blocks ads is YouTube Premium or a third-party ad blocker that, of course, as a YouTuber, I would never tell you to get because YouTube wouldn't like that. Those are disallowed by YouTube TOS, and we all care about that deeply, obviously. Did I lay it on thick enough? Anyway, so unfortunately, yeah, YouTube memberships help support the stream and allow you to join the member-only streams, but they don't block ads. Sorry. It's how YouTube works. I don't make the rules. Alternatively, though, on Twitch, subscriptions do block ads, and it is September. So if you want to block some ads on Twitch and support the channel, you can always subscribe or gift subs. Sorry I turned that into a self-promotion, but that's life. All right, let's get into Cameron's dealio.
Officer Snyder, Union Gap Police Department.
Nick Cameron Wilson, nice to meet you.
Well, the reason I stopped you is you were passing on the shoulder.
Okay.
That's not legal.
It's not legal?
It's not, Cameron. This is what gets me about Cameron. It's not even just the fact that he doesn't have a license and stuff. Multiple times I've seen him get pulled over and the cop says that he was doing something dangerous, like this, passing on the right, and other stuff like that. I forget the specifics of the other one, and I don't want to speak out of turn, but I know I've seen cops tell him, hey, we saw you. Here's an example. I don't remember if it was specifically this, but I think one of the times it was a rolling stop. Like he barely stopped for a stop sign. Not good. So he appears to also actively do dangerous things, which is not good. Nemesaur, thanks so much for gifting 20 tier 1 subs. Very generous of you, as always. You are a wonderful, accidental producer of the show. Thank you, Nemesaur. Quasispec, thanks for 200 bits, and we're almost on a hype train.
Legal?
Nope. Can I get your license, registration, and insurance?
I'll
please?
give you my name and information. That's all I have with me right now.
Do you not have a license?
No, I don't have a license whatsoever. I don't use the roads in a commercial capacity. Here in Yakima and in Washington, the Attorney General, I'm an attorney, by the way.
He's not an attorney. He's lying. He's a liar who lies. He's not an attorney. He's not an attorney. He's not a lawyer. He's not an attorney. Claiming you're an attorney at fact is fucking nonsense, Cameron. Knock it off. It's embarrassing, and no one believes it except the people in your little weird culty group. Terradona, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs and getting that hype train going. Sweet Lily Love with 100 bits says, hype train, baby. 54% to level 6 on a hype train.
Here in Washington, the Attorney General has already dictated the aspect that all road usage, well, it depends on if you have a contract or not, whether you're using it commercially or not commercially.
Are we doing this all?
It doesn't. None of that's true. He's talking out of his butthole. Stone Corbell, thanks for gifting a sub.
Road usage, well, it depends on if you have a contract or not, whether you're using it commercially or not commercially.
Are we doing the sovereign thing?
No, I'm not a sovereign. I'm
Are we doing the sovereign thing? And it's so funny because a cop will be like, are you a sovereign citizen or are you doing a sovereign thing? And Cameron will be like, no, you're making assumptions and presumptions. You're discriminating against me. But then on his streams, he'll be like, yeah, I'm the sovereignest citizen. Like, he'll make jokes about it, and, like, he'll cite old writings where, like, the term sovereign citizen is used, and he'll happily apply that to himself. He can't pick a lane, which is probably why he was driving on the shoulder. But we did it. Fennikagami says, Hannah, don't you know the dear leader who's always right and very handsome that you aren't allowed to criticize says that the law's whatever he says it is. So until dear leader says otherwise, the sovereign citizens are right and all laws are nonsense. Oh, that's very comforting. Terradona with 100 bits says the cops are really catching on to the Sovsit thing. Oh yeah, they know it. A lot of them know it at this point. Like, it's incredibly common that they know the whole deal.
I'm an attorney.
So what's your name?
My name is Cameron Wilson. I'm an attorney for real. I'm not even BSing you. And then also right now is the aspect that the definitions of both municipal and county codes here in
Oh, he said aspect, by the way. I gotta point that out. Aspect!
Washington
What's your date of
excuse
birth,
me,
Cameron?
just one 2587. But the aspects here in the state of Washington, first off, here in Yakima specifically, both road and street is defined as open as a matter of right for public vehicular travel. So
Do you think that that old definition has anything to do with any of the laws, statutes, or codes that they've passed in the subsequent years that definitely say you need a license? Just curious.
the legislature has narrowly tailored the legislature not to violate any constitutional rights due to the aspect that it is all about the consent of the governed.
Aspect.
Meaning that if I'm
Yes, the consent of the governed means people voting, basically. It means people voting and accepting the electoral system that we have and participating in it. So that's the consent. People voted for who they voted for, and these are the laws we have. Cameron.
using the roads in a commercial capacity whatsoever, then of course, right, there's an issue. But I have no contract with the state. I do not have no driver's license with the state. I have not given up my...
Hey, fun fact, Cameron, I don't have a contract with the state either, but I still have a driver's license and everything because that's what you need. Did you know that? Did you know you need that?
consent to right to locomotion and free travel.
Okay.
So,
What's your middle name?
my middle name is James.
All right, say type on.
Hey, are you, just real quick, are you aware of Rodriguez versus United States?
No.
You don't know what that states as far as...
Nope. What I do know is
constitutionally
that
established?
you were riding your motorcycle illegally on a public road.
That's a good response. Cut straight to, hey, stop the bullshit. What I do know is you're breaking the law.
In the state of Washington.
Minute on
Well,
the hype train.
And you don't have a license.
Correct, I don't need to have a license.
But you do.
No, according to the Washington Attorney General and their opinions, as well as Supreme Court Justice...
Wrong.
Hold on, just excuse me. I have to inform you. If I don't inform... Yeah, I do, because if I don't inform you, then you're going to make assumptions.
I'm not making...
And presumptions. Sorry, he always tends to say those two together. H-Baird says, as an unrelated PSA, if you know someone who doesn't want to cancel Disney Plus because they have kids, feel free to tell them that if you start the cancellation process, they'll offer to let you stay for only $2.99 a month for 6 months instead of $18. They'll still lose money and your kids can still watch Bluey. And maybe teach that person in that time to, I can't risk my channel for this. You know, you're an adult. A lot of you grew up in the early 2000s. Yo ho!
An assumption.
Okay, yes, sir.
We were talking about Disney, so I was just thinking about Pirates of the Caribbean, one of my favorite Disney live action movies. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum, Jack Sparrow. I don't know.
Hi. How you doing? Just chilling. It's hot though.
That is a good setting. That's a great setting for a D&D campaign, Trey. Ooh, I got a hand emote. That's a weird one. I like that.
It's already getting there. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the new part of the video that we hadn't seen prior. I don't think Cameron's doing well because he seems kind of upset in this video, like more so than usual and desperate and not, how do I put this? He's normally pretty calm and collected, like he seems confident in the things that he says. For whatever reason, in this video, he seems less confident and more just, like, freaking out.
It's hot though. It's already getting there. Yeah. 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 I just need to get my citations and go though. So Rodriguez versus United States says that the stop is not supposed to be extended upon a de minimis amount of time to issue the citations and let me go because there's no crime that's been committed whatsoever. And actually, I
need to actually do a list of like the dozen or so like legal concepts Cameron has memorized to try and use in different situations. The de minimis amount of time for a stop. What are the other ones? Shoot, certainly that he thinks that, you know, traveling, not driving, and like that commercial argument. What's the other one? Oh, he's got so many. He doesn't talk about it as much here, but in his courtroom ones, what does he call it? The rule of lenity. The fucking rule of lenity. He talks about that shit all the time too.
I don't have a license in Washington, nor do I have registration in Washington, so I'm not obligated to abide by any contracts. This isn't just something that I'm stating to you. I'm actually an attorney, and I've actually won several times in court or had the cases dismissed from prosecutors due to these facts. And I can explicitly show them right now. I have 3 federal cases in law suing police.
Yes, Cameron, you have initiated 3 federal cases that are not going to go anywhere. That's not impressive. Anyone with money and time can file lawsuits. That's not impressive. Winning them is the part where you get to say you did something.
For violating my constitutional rights. So I'd really just like the tickets to be issued so I can be on my way, because there's no crime that's been committed or that I've been suspected of either. And this is my private property, and due process states that by the Constitution that my private property cannot be taken from me at any point in time unless there's a crime that's been suspected, because I'm not obligated. I don't have a driver's license here in Washington. The Attorney General both has stated that through opinions, and then both Justice Tolman, the Supreme Court Justice Tolman, T-O-L-E-M-A-N, stating that we have the rights to travel here on the roads. Then in Yakima County, both the municipal and the county codes, the definition of street or road states that the roads are open as a matter of right for public vehicular travel.
Cool. What's the law say about requiring licenses to operate vehicles on the public roadways in the state that you're in? The opposite of that? Wow.
And I'll pull those up exclusively right now for the municipal code. So that way there's no aspect of dictating that I have to abide by some presumption that y'all state that I have to have a driver's license. That's not true. It's not how it works in law. I know that.
Anna, we can see your undershirt. I'm going to say this. Marcel's a psycho, but I get why he's into cloaks. It feels good. Because you could be like, ooh, like I'm just like a shadowy, mysterious figure. Like I'm just a void. I'm just like a void creature. And then you can dramatically be like, whoosh. And then you have like a cape. And that shit feels good. That shit feels so good. We should bring capes back. Oh my god. At least in the Midwest. It gets so cold here. Why aren't we doing cloaks in the winter?
That's what y'all been taught, but that's not how it works on Supreme Court level. So I like the tickets to be issued and be on my way. This is actually extending beyond the time to.
And it's like perfect, because like when you're outside, you do this. If you go inside, boom. Less warm. And you look stylish.
The citations.
I'm doing it, chat. I'm bringing back the cloak.
Running through my name right now. He's not issuing tickets. He's just trying to search and conduct an investigation. So let me see. Are we in the right drive? Let's get in the right one. Because see, I'm already starting to sweat. I don't want to sweat. So, like, I need to get my tickets and go. Yakima. Summons, untitled. Where is my supporting affidavit, cease, notice. Open as a matter of right. There we go.
Hey, Cameron, if you ever watch this video, I don't know if he's obsessive enough that he watches videos that I do covering him. Like, Marcel does that, but Marcel's Marcel. So I don't know if Cameron is, but let's just put this out there in case Cameron ever does watch this. Pulling up this shit during a traffic stop is not going to change a single goddamn thing, except it's wasting your time. Like, even if you were right, the cops would not be listening to you. But here's also the fun fact, you're not right. You're just a psycho. In my opinion, you just sound like a psycho at the side of the road, arguing conspiratorial sovereign citizen nonsense that no one is going to take seriously outside of your group. Like, period, point blank. Why are you wasting your own time? No one takes you seriously outside of your group. It's a joke. Please get in touch with reality. I think they've been trying to reach you for a while. I don't think you've been in contact for some time.
We'll do a search, find Yakima. Okay, County Road. County 8.06.010 definitions. For the purpose of this chapter, the following words and phrases shall have the county road means every way, lane, road, street, boulevard, and every way or place or part thereof in the county of Yakima, open as a matter of right for public vehicular travel. That does not mean drive. It means travel.
Hey, Cameron, you don't understand anything, so stop.
So, I need him to issue my...
The aspect you don't understand is that doesn't trump, you know, the laws about requiring you to have a driver's license to drive a vehicle that's a car. Ah.
My citation so I can go. You ready for me, Papa?
You don't need a license for a bicycle. You could bike down the road. That's legal.
It's going down. What all you got for me?
Also, I hate how he calls everyone Papa. If you're calling everyone endearing shit like that, it just comes off as cringe and, like, cloying, and, like, you're constantly trying to ingratiate yourself to everyone, and it comes off as manipulative. Stop it.
Hey, look, I wanted to show you something real quick, too, like I was showing Nunez. Here you go. So I got Yakima County, Washington, subsection 8.06.010 definitions. For the purposes of this chapter, the following words and or phrases shall have the indicated meanings. 1, county road. It means every...
Talking over. I've noticed he's, like, again, I'm not making any accusations. I'm not making any accusations about Cameron. I have, however, noticed his propensity to be perhaps less respectful to lady officers than he is male officers. I don't know if anyone else has noticed this. There is a noticeable, in my opinion, difference between how he talks to and communicates with, again, women versus men in these videos. Something to consider.
Every way, lane, road, street, boulevard, and every way or place or part thereof in the county of Yakima, open as a matter of right for public vehicular travel. Why do you keep interrupting me? I'm talking to him. He said it's okay. I can listen.
Why do you keep interrupting me? Because everything you're saying doesn't matter, and you're wrong.
Don't interrupt me, please. Okay, but
Just let him finish his citation.
okay, but what I'm trying to say is, do not interrupt me. I have not.
Like, listen to how he's, like, mad. Like, this is not healthy. Listen to him.
Okay, but
Just let him finish his citation.
okay, but what I'm trying to say is, do not interrupt me. I have not committed a crime, and I am not suspected of a crime. You don't run me. Okay, you're not over me. I am a good person. You don't get to.
Who you trying to convince with that one, Cameron? Her or you?
Okay, you're not over me. I am a good person. You don't get
I'm
to.
not saying you're not.
Okay, so don't try and sit here and tell me what to do. I can do whatever I want to do.
Cameron, you're not immune to the social contract just because you think that no one should ever get to tell you what to do. Laws apply to you. Stop being a big baby. Grow up.
I don't violate crimes. So until I
Okay, yes you do. Certainly, okay, let me put it this way. You violate the law. The laws are not necessarily criminal law. Often they are pseudo-crime in some states or civil infractions in the case of traffic things. I do think often operating with a suspended license or without a license might be a misdemeanor in certain states, so that could arguably be criminal depending on the state. I guess what I'm trying to say is, Cameron, you are breaking the law on a pretty constant basis, so maybe stop pretending you don't do that because it's disingenuous. Oh yeah, and he was driving on the shoulder, which is also breaking the law. So maybe he should just be an adult and accept the consequences for his actions.
violate a crime, you have no authority to tell me what to do, okay?
You were saying
Fun fact, yes she does. Literally she does.
you want to get rolling, right? You want to get going?
Yes.
You interrupting him while he's trying to do
He's doing his
citation?
thing. I'm just letting him know the rules. Y'all.
You don't know the rules. It's not your job to tell him the rules. It's his job to ticket you for breaking the rules that you don't understand.
Don't get taught the
You have to
rules.
tell him his rules. He knows the rules.
He don't. If that was
He does. Better than you.
the case, why do I have 3 federal cases?
Because you're a crackpot! That's just, if I don't know what I'm talking about, why did I spend money and my time filing 3 frivolous federal lawsuits? Because of the aspect that you're fucking nuts.
If that was the case, why do I got a summary judgment for $1.2 million right now that's about to get paid out?
Yeah, is it? Cameron, I'll tell you what. You show me the payment for that $1.2 million, and I'll quit covering you forever. I'll tell you that. You got a $1.2 million check? You prove that, Cameron, and we can be done here. I promise.
Yeah. Because cops don't know the rules. You get taught in the academy some, but you don't get taught what the Supreme Court says. And then you're held liable, and he's held liable. And the person that's sitting there is a visitor that's learning what only he knows is liable. Because y'all don't know how this works. And I'm trying to teach you. I have a huge YouTube channel. You want to write down my stuff? You can get involved. You don't want to? Okay, you're going to be hosted on YouTube, just so you know.
That's fine.
All right. Well, yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, I'm not playing. I'm not no small-time guy. This isn't no, you're going to violate my rights. I'm not trying to be bold. I'm just trying to tell you that we as the
look I love all of the look she's giving him. You can tell she sees through all his fucking bravado and bullshit. I love it.
That's fine.
All right. Well, yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, I'm not playing. I'm not no small-time guy.
He's not no small-time guy. He's got like 50,000 YouTube subscribers. He's a big deal. Would a joke have 50,000 YouTube subscribers?
This isn't no, you're going to violate my rights. I'm not trying to be bold. I'm just trying to tell you that we as the public now have AI. You see what I'm saying? We don't get fooled no more. We can easily search and find the case law that applies to any situation.
I can easily have a robot read me incorrect citations of cases it hallucinated. I win! Yeah, for those that don't know, Cameron uses AI to draft his legal stuff. So even compared to like a classic sovereign citizen, he's a lazy idiot. I want to point that out in case people don't know that. He also, quote unquote, wrote some books. And based on what I've heard, because he's been going through one of the books called Self-Governing Bruh, based on the fact that he can't pronounce a lot of the words and seems surprised by the content of the book sometimes, I'm thinking he didn't write the book. Fennikagami says, I do actually wonder what will happen when Sobsits get confronted by ICE and if we'll ever see the video of it. We won't. I'm curious how performative this defiance mixed with cowardice of ICE, what would happen? Like, I don't want these people hurt or sent to a deportation camp, but it's always interesting to see how ideology responds to pressures. I think it would go bad for the sovereign citizens because, well, I would agree that the people who join ICE tend to be like, I would imagine they have an underlying personality profile of the kind of people who are easily startled and scared and xenophobic. They will behave incredibly violently towards sovereign citizens because sovereign citizens are confusing and present an unknown to them potentially, and they will not take unknowns very well, especially people not immediately accepting their authority. So yeah, if we get actual confrontations ever between ICE and sovereign citizens, it's not going to go well for the sovereign citizens, which sucks, because, like, as much as I don't like sovereign citizens, ICE are fucking monsters. Like, if you work for ICE, fuck you. Straight up. If you work for ICE, go fuck yourself. You're a terrible person. Like, I don't know what else to say about it. And I don't mean this in some glib, like, oh, ACAB kind of way. I mean this in a, as far as I'm concerned, you're basically the moral equivalent to a fucking, like, SS officer. Like, it's fucking gross. Fuck you. So, I don't know, man. Hopefully that isn't a video we ever have to watch. Let's put it that way.
We don't have to go searching through books to immediately find what we need to find. And now that we aren't, we ain't getting our rights violated no more. That's how this works. The days of we're going to violate your rights and you're going to do whatever we say, those days are over with. You can do it, but you'll get fired. Believe me, I've already got 3 of them fired.
He always says that. Cameron, can I get some citations on that? Again, I know at least one of those isn't true, because one of them didn't get fired, they got promoted. So I assume what he did was like he looked them up or something and couldn't find, whatever. What do they call just an officer? Officer whatever, and they weren't there anymore because now they're not officer whatever, they're sergeant whatever. And he assumed they got fired. So, like, I really would need you to cite any of those claims, Cameron. Otherwise, I'm going to assume it's bullshit because I already saw one that I know turned out to be a bullshit thing, so...
No longer on the force. Brady's list. Can't even go and testify anymore, so what's the point?
It's the Brady list. It's not Brady's list, I don't think. It's the Brady list.
Giving tickets. See what I'm saying? That's how this works. Like, we, the public, ain't playing with it no more. And it seems like you a good cop, so I ain't got nothing to say bad about you. But, I don't have no contract with the state. Did you see
You don't need one.
Did you see a driver's license for me?
That's not suspended.
Wait. I don't have no driver's license. I've never applied, so there's no suspension. You better look again. Give me your card.
What a weird cut. It's almost like he cut out stuff there that makes him look bad.
Did you see a driver's
Speculative.
license for me?
That's not suspended.
Wait. I don't have no driver's license. I've never applied, so there's no suspension. You better look again.
Huh, wonder why that cuts there.
Give me your card.
Yeah, I'll even write it down for you.
You're getting a complaint.
Okay.
You're not gonna say
You're getting a complaint. Weird. After that cut, he seems a lot madder. Wonder what happened during that cut that made him so much madder. You think he has a license and he's faking not having one? No, he doesn't have a license. He's he didn't have a license and then he got caught, I believe. Something happened basically, and he's been given... You can get sort of suspended even when you don't have a license, but it's being suspended from being able to apply for a license. So that's how he gets around that, is he is suspended from the right to be able to apply for a license because he didn't have one in the first place. So they'll be like, you're suspended. He'll be like, I never had a license. I'm suspended from being able to apply. And it's like, all right, that's a distinction without a difference. You don't have a license, you're not allowed to drive, you're not even allowed to apply for a license. So it's just semantic bullshit he's playing to obfuscate the fact that, yes, he is driving illegally.
sit here in Yakima and start telling me what I am or ain't gonna do.
I stopped you for stuff I observed in...
It ain't a crime. You're over here lying to all these people talking about I stopped you for a crime. You don't even know what a crime is. Traffic infractions
See how much madder he is after the cut?
are not crime. People versus Battle Supreme Court.
I actually have a summons for you sitting right here.
When are the cops gonna tow his bike? Him being anywhere near a vehicle is a danger to society. Hopefully soon. It's ridiculous that it never gets towed, honestly.
What is a summons? That's a citation. It's a uniform.
It's a criminal citation.
It's a uniform commercial complaint.
It's a
UCC.
criminal citation.
It's a commercial complaint.
You can talk.
UCC has nothing to do with this, my guy. It's just not. It's not a thing that has anything to do with this.
Talk to the judge about it.
No, I'm gonna go talk to your fucking chief about it.
Oh, please do.
Since you think you can threaten people.
I'm gonna go tell your boss.
I haven't threatened you with anything.
Yeah, you did. You said if I run off outside of your jurisdiction, I'm gonna get in trouble. You're gonna pull me over again.
Yeah, because that would be illegal. Yep.
Be actively watching you.
I'm not driving. I don't have a driver's license. You keep presuming.
Yes, not having a driver's license is a big part of the problem.
I'm not presuming anything.
You keep saying I'm driving. You ain't found no contract in this thing.
Go ahead and call.
You ain't found no contract in this thing. Hey, cool beans. Here's the thing. There doesn't need to be a contract. It's the law. It applies to you. Grow up, you big baby. Whine about it more. I don't have a contract. I don't have a contract. No laws apply to me. I need to not have anything to apply to me because I need to be special or I feel empty inside. That's what you sound like. Fuck off. So tired.
Call the chief. Reference that case number.
I ain't gonna call them. I'm gonna go up and have a meeting. I'm gonna file a notice of liability. And then if you continue to harass me, I'm gonna sue you in your individual capacity and your professional capacity.
Much scary. Very threat.
You keep putting your city at liability because you're ignorant.
So, that's the most recent traffic stop that I'm aware of. I do hope they repost that video that they did earlier. Damn, if I'd known it wasn't going to be up, I would have screen recorded it. Because they did have a video where they went to, like, the local police department or something. It's pretty interesting. Hopefully that'll give us some content for next time. But next, what we're going to cover is Eddie Craig. I don't think we've actually covered Eddie Craig before. I don't know how much of this we're going to cover, but I just find it interesting. He's the progenitor of a lot of modern sovereign citizen talking points because he wrote this script for them. He's, I guess, a former sheriff or something. And this was actually quite viewed by conspiracy theorists because, surprise, he was on InfoWars. So this is like a foundational text for a lot of sovereign citizens.
Especially when it comes to things. Now, what I'm going to talk about today for the most part are your rights, especially when it comes to things like public service and servant encounters involving traffic stops, sidewalk stops, public building stops, so on and so forth. It would surprise you to a great degree just how much
What is the Tao of law?
the American people are no.
Oh boy. Oh, is that a picture? Did they put a picture of Bruce Lee in there? Alright. I don't know what Bruce Lee has to do with this, but alright.
No longer in touch with what their basic
Cameron's a big fan of Eddie. I did know that.
common unalienable rights actually are.
Oh, he actually said unalienable. That's crazy. So many sovereign citizens say unalienable because they can't read.
We've been indoctrinated into surrendering them to the state and to those that we judge to be in authority over us for far too long. It's probably one of the biggest reasons for government-controlled schools is simply because this indoctrination process has to be done slowly.
You know, I thought it had more to do with it's helpful if people in your society know how to do math and how to spell, but what do I know?
Because what they're telling us about what we have as far as rights are concerned and how they actually treat us in regard to those rights are very much in contrast and in contradiction to each other. But by doing it slowly over time, the way they're doing it, most people have gotten
It's because they prefer to emphasize lean. I know, but it's nonsense because it's not even like the word lean in unalienable. Like, that's not what the word means. It's not unalienable, it's unalienable, as in the rights cannot be alienated from you. And I know you know this, but like, it pisses me off.
to the point where they don't even notice any longer that
Words mean things, damn it. It's so important.
have been deprived of those rights
I'm
until
this close to turning French.
it's far too late. This is the transportation script that I've wrote and am currently recommending for use whenever you're engaged in any type of public interaction, most appropriately a transportation stop, but it can be used in any situation where you're having to deal with any type of public servant who is attempting to exert some sort of authority over you or your property or something of that nature. So that being said, there's a couple of general rules when it comes to dealing with public officials. One of the things I've got here on the transportation script is it's best for you to memorize as much of the actual questions portion as possible. The instruction portion, don't have to worry about memorizing, you just need to know the basic premise of why the instructions are what they are, so that you can apply them properly to the questions and the context in which you're having to use them.
Lily says, he was a prison guard for a couple weeks, never a police officer. Is that true?
That being said,
I'd have to look that up, but that would be very funny.
one of the major rules I stress vehemently to the people in my class is you're no longer in the world of
Like a prison guard at the jail, because he says former deputy sheriff, and sheriff's deputies do basically watch the jail.
rights and safety.
So I'm assuming that's what you mean. He was like one of the people who worked at the jail.
You're in a world of government intolerance of the very people that empower and create it. The government wants you to be its subject, not the other way around. So, Never leave home ever again without some form of recording device with you. Doesn't matter if it's your cell phone, doesn't matter if it's a voice recorder, doesn't matter if it's multiple of either. Don't leave home without something that records. Anytime you find yourself in a situation where you are about to have to deal with a public servant, I don't care if it's someone you've known for years, but you are going to see them in their official capacity as whatever they are, a court clerk, court of record clerk, the county clerk, whatever, you record that encounter. You never know what your public servants are going to attempt to do at any given time anymore. Police officers are being
They might not buy your bullshit. You better film and harass them on YouTube.
trained to treat us as the enemy.
Dash cam is a good idea. I would agree. And it is a good idea to film, like, interactions with the cops potentially. Like, that's a good thing dash cams are for. I'm mostly thinking about the fact that this has been interpreted by many sovereign citizens to be they go in to file bogus documents at, like, the county clerk or whatever, and the clerk is like, what is this? What do you want me to do with this? And they film them, and they're like, fuck you, bitch, file my bullshit. That's what I'm picturing.
They are first and foremost the ones you have to watch out for. Never talk with a peace officer, police officer, or any other type of officer if you're not recording the encounter. All right, now in the transportation script, you'll notice the yellow highlighted area at the top, the do's and don'ts. These are very important things you need to know. You don't have to memorize these, you just have to know why they exist and what they are for. The first one is, do remember that an officer is required to read you your rights before questioning or searching you if they have placed you in a custodial arrest. Now, one of the things that most people in Texas do not know is that every time you are stopped for an alleged transportation stop, you are already in a custodial arrest.
So I can't speak to, like, Texas. Texas is weird and might have their own specific definitions that are different, but by and large, my understanding is that is not the case. Again, a traffic stop is a traffic stop, and a lot of the time sovereign citizens will try to claim that that is a custodial arrest, but it is a detention, and there is a difference. Fennikagami says words only have meanings until people who are confident and stupid and ignorant, like a conservative Christian, for example, are inconvenienced by that meaning. Then the word's meaning becomes whatever they need it to, becomes something, something, Bible, or whatever. In fairness, everyone is capable of doing this. All groups do this to some extent. It's a human thing. As much as I detest the reality that language shifts over time, it is nonetheless the reality, and all groups are a party to it. Just point that out.
There are many sections of Texas law that make that clear, but the one that will make it the most pointed will be Chapter 543 of the Transportation Code, where it talks specifically about the arresting officer may release the person arrested from custody and so on and so forth. You also have a Texas court case that says very clearly that that arrest that occurs in 543 is a custodial arrest. So they will always tell you, however, that you're not under arrest. They will tell you that you're in a custodial detention. This is a lie. The reason they're doing this is to get you to start talking freely.
Okay, so this is something where it feels like a weird mix of a misunderstanding and a mistruth. So, like, it seems, I don't think you are in a custodial arrest the way he's describing. However, yes, if you just casually say something in conversation to the cop, of course it can be used against you, but they're not required to read you your Miranda rights unless you're actually being formally questioned, right? So it's like he's trying to describe, hey, be careful what you say, because it's going to get used against you, even if they haven't really said anything about that yet. But instead, he's just defined the whole stop as a custodial arrest instead of a detention. Like, it's very strange. I don't understand why he's doing it the way that he's doing it.
Because under arrest, you're liable to watch what you say. Under arrest, they have to read you your rights, which is what this is dealing with. If they don't tell you that and you just talk freely, then anything you say can and will be used against you, and you can't get it suppressed later because
That's like every single situation. If you just casually are talking to a cop in any context and admit to a crime, obviously that can be used against you. That doesn't make it a custodial arrest.
the court will view it as a voluntary statement. So you need to know immediately that the moment the lights come on in Texas relating to any form of traffic stop, you are already in a custodial arrest, and you need to act accordingly. That being said, when you look at this and you read 543.001 through 009 of the Texas Transportation Code, you will see that that's the case. You'll also see that the reading of your rights is a mandatory requirement that works in your favor unless you're dumb enough to continue to talk after you've been so informed of this. And you can see that under Article 38.22 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. Be aware, however, that the cops almost never read you your rights. Never. Not when they arrest you, not when they search your car, not when they do any of that. And they're required to do it. So, these are the things you need to be aware of. That means anything you say that can be incriminating, like using the 7 deadly sins, or agreeing with the officer that
I have no idea what he means by the 7 deadly sins thing.
you were driving, or that this is a vehicle.
This is a section from like a 3-hour video, so it's possible that's a reference to a previous section.
Anything you say
I do want to watch the full video at some point, but
or do in that regard is a nail in your coffin at trial. Because you're basically admitting that what he's accusing you of, the regulable activity of transportation, is actually applicable to what you're doing to your car and to your actions. And to
driving. You're driving. You can say driving. Do you see how unnaturally they have to talk around the subject in order to, like, give the illusion that they're not driving? Like, this is not how anyone talks or, like, conceptualizes driving, trying to avoid the word quite conspicuously. It's so sus. I don't know how they don't immediately hear how bullshit this is.
to you personally, when in fact it isn't. But because you're so used to these terms that they're using, you simply agree with them. That's your first mistake. So one of my major rules is there's 3 parts to this. You shut up, you keep shutting up, and when you've done that, you shut up some more.
Sure, that's good advice in general when interacting with the cops, but in a traffic stop, again, if you're the driver, you do have to give them your license, your registration, your insurance. Terradona says 3 hours of this guy might be better than Miller's Epic.
Now we'll get to
I don't know what that means.
that in the do's and don'ts in the next one here.
Oh, David Miller. That makes sense.
Right now, let's finish this up. Oh, keep it back
I miss David Miller.
up, please. Okay. Since they never read you your rights and you are in a custodial arrest and the officer is lying to you about the custodial arrest, you need to make sure you know that, okay? You are always in a full-blown custodial arrest. Okay, now pop that other one up. All right. Don't ever answer an officer's questions. There's no requirement for you.
All right, we can move on. Let's see what else we got. I keep wanting to cover Brandon Joe Williams, but every time I get close to doing it, my brain goes, wait, he's incredibly annoying. Isn't that going to be a nightmare? And my brain goes, probably. Probably. Oh boy. What's Kat up to?
Okay, that's what we got there. Hello, everyone. This is Kata Spinda, and this is What's Up Now. And I've got my lovely...
Yeah, Eddie Craig is still alive, I believe. He was on Cameron's show, I think, a year or so ago.
Sister Junique here. How you doing?
Isn't Kat for tinfoil? Not necessarily. She's a sovereign citizen and a conspiracy theorist.
Sister?
I mean, strictly speaking, sovereign citizenry is a conspiracy theory. I just mean she does both. Both the specific SovCit stuff and a bunch of other stuff.
Okay, babe, hanging in.
Hanging in this...
Hanging by a thread. Go on.
in this freaking simulation created by lizards up at the top who
Yes,
simulate real
yes.
humanity, right?
Yeah, and I think I think from me, from my perspective, the problem is that not enough people know that this is a simulation. That's the problem.
Oh, good. We're getting into borderline solipsism. Love that for us.
So there are alternate universes existing right now. In one universe, people are trapped and have no idea they're trapped and they just keep going.
Yeah.
And in the other universe, people are still here, but they know they're trapped and they're fighting to get out.
What?
And the two can't live in a meaningful way together. They can't because no, they don't believe a thing we say.
Nope. But we don't believe now though, we're flipping the scripts on them. And I no longer believe anything they have to say.
Oh, I've been there a long time.
and the more and more who wake up to this what reality actually is and realizes that they have
Anna von Reitz is finally paying a price for her theories. Yeah, didn't I see she's lost her house? Hold on, let me pull that up real quick. We haven't covered Anna von Reitz a ton, but she's another sovereign citizen influencer, for lack of a better word. And I know she made a post. I may have been a community post on her YouTube channel. Let me pull this up. Here it is. International public notice: the dangers posed by ignorant thugs. Many of you are concerned about my health and welfare, so am I. Tomorrow, armed and very ignorant thugs, police, are said to arrive at my house, board my vessel, house, and seize my property under false pretenses. These are the same thugs that have been harming people and ruining lives all over this country for 6 generations. They have no right to do this. They have no right to force the use of their ideas on anyone, much less charge people taxes. Taxes is in quotes, by the way. Because they unknowingly use copyrighted intellectual property descriptions. In my case, my property is separately surveyed and recorded apart from any use or contract with the now defunct Matanuska Sostina Borough Incorporated, and has been for years. It has a separate address. It is fully posted. My husband's estate owns the underlying United States land patent. Land patents are not a thing in the United States. On top of which, all debts of all and any federal persons related to me have been indemnified and prepaid. So I'm assuming she did not pay her property taxes and is having her house seized by the state. So their court, again, court is in quotes because of course it is, had no validated commercial claim or proof of debt. I presented 4 potent contracts that prove everything I or anyone else could need to prove to overturn any unproven allegation of debt or public interest in my house and my land. They ignored this. Why? Because they're a commercial corporation and it's in their self-interest to try to steal my property, pretending it's their property. Whew, sorry. The fact is, they don't own any land and never did. They don't own anything except descriptions and labels they made up out of thin air and attached to my property. This is called illegal latching, and the fact that they, the Matanuska Sustina Borough Incorporated, was guilty of this on a large and organized scale does not change the nature of the crime. Hydrate. So basically, she's pulling a Cataspinda. Her house is being seized, which is sad. I don't want anyone to lose their house. Believe it or not, even people I don't like. A house is where you live. You know, every human being deserves to have a safe place to go at the end of the day. But frankly, what did you think was gonna happen? Like, I'm sure she was warned so many times, man. I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I will save this Cataspinda video probably for tinfoil, though, because, frankly, it's more simulation theory. You know how it is. Oh! Anyway, here's another sovereign citizen probably losing her house. And she's gonna blame Bill Pulte to some extent. Which is kind of funny. Small world, huh?
What the document you're showing, Gianna, for Scott's reference, it's a snapshot of the tax rolls. I went into the appraisal district and copied this. It's now showing Fannie Mae is the owner instead of Henry and Kathy Welter.
So apparently her house, for whatever reason, it's listed somewhere it's owned by, I always do this, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, or the reverse. I always fuck it up. Or when I don't fuck it up, I think I fucked it up. So anyway, she's calling Bill Pulte to fix this. Bill Pulte's busy sucking on Trump's salty vinegary balls.
On my property. I don't know if you saw the document. I posted in the group last month that the attorneys for Mr. Cooper had filed a deed at the Harris County Clerk's office stating that they transferred our property for X amount of dollars to another attorney. You know, and it was sold and transferred, but now Fannie Mae's back in the picture. I was the one last month who could have the realtor show up at the door with the notice. So this is where we're at now.
He almost got into a physical fight with Trump Jr. Why? Had they both almost finished the 8-ball and neither could decide who gets the last sniff?
I'm like, I can't figure out how many people
That's a joke about cocaine addiction.
own my house. Apparently, I don't own it anymore, according to.
Let me tell you, let me just say this very emphatically. That is the best news you could ever get, is them putting that in writing. Okay. And let me explain why. All these banks, everything that I'm seeing these banks do now, you've heard me say they bluff, right?
Right.
Trust me, our plan isn't going terribly and you're not going to lose your house. The bank is bluffing. Fun fact, the bank doesn't have to bluff. They're the bank.
But they're all doing things trying to backpedal and escape their liability, right? And so they're all starting to shift their liability onto Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Ginnie Mae, whoever, because they know these GSEs are going to be shielded from liability in the end. So there are several, I don't want to say several, 3 or 4, right, of our members where something similar has happened. And, we've called the law firm, and as soon as we mention the word fraud, of course, that gets their attention. And then we have contacted Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and all these different GSEs, and they just vehemently deny any involvement with these banks.
It's probably hard to get through these days, too. I think Pulte fired about 1/3 of the staff.
They deny any involvement with these servicers. In fact, as one of our members posted, he did a brilliant job of calling and capturing all this information, where Fannie Mae, they just said, nope, that's not even the service that we have recorded. I mean, these people are just shotgunning in 50 different directions. So these are all positive things. Now, again, this is why my eyeballs being turned on backwards is a good thing, because I look past all this stuff. When a bank tells you that Fannie Mae owns your loan, that's it, you're done. Fannie Mae doesn't own anything, and Fannie Mae will never come after you. Fannie Mae will never foreclose.
Jay's a Proxy says, as somewhat of an insider, nobody knows what the fuck is going to happen with Fannie and Freddie. Yeah, how do I put this? What is it called? It's called the something paradox. When you read the newspaper, I guess that's an antiquated example. When you read the news anywhere and it's a story on something that you know a lot about, and you read that story and it's full of inaccuracies and you go, what the fuck are you talking about? This is terribly researched. But then you kind of flip the page and you trust the other stories despite the evidence that oh wow, maybe this isn't as well researched. What's that called? Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Anyone? It would help. Anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is, when I look at Bill Pulte and how much I know about him, and like, yes, that is a thing. There's a word for it. The Gelman amnesia effect. Thank you. The Gelman amnesia effect. How do I put this? I know how incompetent Pulte is. I know how unqualified Pulte is. I'm aware how ignorant and, like, how do I put this? Basically, I know that Bill Pulte is a narcissistic dumbass. So that's a story I'm reading on the front page, you know, and going, oh, fuck. And then I realize Trump has appointed Bill Pultes to every position in government that he has the right to appoint, and even some he doesn't have the right to appoint, but he's doing anyway. I'm just saying, if Bill Pulte's lack of qualifications are representative of what's going on in the entirety of the federal government, America's gonna collapse. Sorry. Just putting it out there.
Never been one foreclosure with Fannie Mae's or Freddie Mac or any other GSE's name on it. And as I pointed out before, the few cases that we have where an attorney steps in and starts trying to foreclose, it's literally the attorney that's foreclosing. The bank's name is nowhere on it. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac's name is nowhere on it. And in what world did we ever have an attorney who will sue someone on behalf of someone else? Never. It's not even possible. They're a third party. It's hearsay. So you're starting to understand and you're starting to see that these things are happening because they're now trying to avoid their liability. And they're also trying to deter others, of course, from doing this because they're trying to prolong it as much as they can. Because the longer they can prolong the collapse of this system, the more they can recoup and the less debt they have to absorb and the better chance they have of weathering this storm.
So this is Mr. Cooper getting reimbursed for the debt I'm no longer paying them. Is that how Fannie Mae's involved?
No, Mr. Cooper's out of it. Okay, so Mr. Cooper never came out of pocket one dime. Whenever they
This guy is getting her house taken. I feel so fucking bad.
How do you define a moment? A rare moment.
Hey, so I had a question that since the Secretary of the Veteran Affairs and Officer of the United States is now claiming to own the house,
Yeah, okay.
would they right? Would they be now added as like a party onto the suit? And if they
100%.
were, how does that look since it's the United States?
Well, so here's the thing. Anything that involves the United States or a dignitary or somebody that goes straight to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court can either take the case or not, right? The Supreme Court will take any case depending on the integrity and severity of the claim. Well,
they are likely not going to take your case. The Supreme Court gets petitioned for so many cases, and they only take up a very small portion. Again, I talked about this earlier. Any sovereign citizen who is banking on the Supreme Court is delusional. They're sovereign citizens, so obviously they're delusional. But, like, throw another delusion on the pile, is what I'm saying. Believing that their case is going to get to the Supreme Court is delusional.
Whenever you start talking about widespread mortgage fraud and secretaries of these huge agencies that are claiming to own these properties whenever they don't, that's a threat to national security, bar none. So the Supreme Court would absolutely take the case. Now, here's the safety net. When the Supreme Court says we're not going to take your case, you go file it into a lower court because according to our laws, the lower courts have to accept cases in lieu of the Supreme Court.
You think you're gonna file in the Supreme Court as the court of original jurisdiction? He thinks he's gonna start at the Supreme Court and work his way down. Okay, buddy. Let's get you back to bed. I don't think you know how courts work.
And that's how you get them going. So I guarantee you this: when the heat starts to come down the pipe, this secretary of whatever agency it is, he's going to be like, I don't know what you're talking about. I never said I own this
Mods, keep an eye out.
house. I never signed on to this nonsense. Just like whenever we called the other day, remember? What'd the lady do?
Oh yeah, she said, I'm not an attorney. I can't say that. We'll have to call you back.
Yeah. And then they got some other attorney get on the phone and talk about that for a minute if you want to, if you will.
Oh, the other attorney?
Yeah, tell everybody what happened with that.
Oh, which part? I'm sorry, there's too much.
The attorney lady that got on let's see, I've got her name written down. Sandra Shearer.
They might have dipped out. They might have just followed so they can comment tomorrow or something. The name is just a chud name.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. She said that, or you were asking her like how can you prove that you're representing the Veteran of Affairs, and she said, oh well they're my client. I can't disclose that because I'm not an attorney. But she was listed on the documents, and you had already asked her who does she work for and who is her client, and she had said the law firm. And then as soon as you start asking questions and saying it's fraud, she's like, well, I'm not an attorney. I can't answer those questions.
And then she starts bowing out and backing up then. And then she's like,
Yep.
and who are you? And so I spelled my name for her very clearly, told her exactly what I was doing. And then she starts saying, oh, so wait a minute, you're saying that this is all fraud? And of course, she's like, yep. Lauren was like,
Benikagami says the only cases that reliably get to SCOTUS are ones where they have a chance to throw America under the bus for Trump. Yeah, with this court, certainly. Yeah.
yep. And then
Man, I really hope in the future there's still, like, Americans around and they're in a better situation so they can look back on this and go, that was fucked, and not just like, oh, yeah. That's a thing.
and of course,
I said that's a fact.
yeah, they just started backpedaling, and let me guess, you haven't heard anything else from them, right?
Not a peep.
Not a peep. Imagine that.
That's why we have these Zooms to share so people learn. We want to give you the lens to see the fraud.
Yeah, and actually the
I'm
lens to
mad
see
I
the
didn't
fraud.
I don't get to hear that phone call. I want to hear that.
Yeah, and the gumption to stand up to these people. Do not accept these people they're not God. They're just attorneys. They have zero power. They will lie to you, they will cheat, they will steal, they will do whatever they can to cover up this demonic system.
The system is demonic.
Revelations chapter 18.
I can't win a case to save my life. It must be demons.
Tells you all you need to know about these attorneys, the legal system, and our banking.
Can we sage the courtroom, Your Honor? I'm worried demons are going to affect the efficacy of my arguments.
System. It is the Babylonian
I've seen Ghostbusters too.
System of the Antichrist, bar none. This is why I shared with you earlier about Israel. All these things are tying in to the system of the Antichrist. They're all built.
Oh, of course we're okay. Yeah. Well, of course we're getting into rapture bullshit. Okay.
To create division and strife and keep you confused with all these lies and everything else. And the greatest thing, there's two things Satan did that are great. Number one, he convinced the world he didn't exist. And secondly, he employed an army that has no idea they're his army. Like, you got all these dummies out there running around forcing this administrative system.
Everyone I don't like is a minion of Satan. That's a very mature worldview, by the way. Everyone you disagree with is secretly working for Satan. That's very adult. That's very clear-headed of you and not at all worthy of a lithium prescription.
System on everyone that have they're just clueless to the fact that they're actually working for the devil.
Okay? Scott, I posted a quote from Aristotle yesterday. Courage.
I'm actually a big fan of the classics. I'm very smart. I'm a bit of a stoic, okay? I'm very intelligent.
Is the first of human qualities because it is the quality which guarantees the others.
If only philosophy had continued beyond the classics, can you imagine how much moral development we could have had? Too bad philosophy died out back in ancient Greece.
Yes. Yeah, and you know what? All evil needs to flourish.
Good people to do nothing.
It's for people like me and you to do nothing. See, and there's where this verse comes in the book of Revelation, where it says, "The fearful and unbelieving shall have their part in a lake of fire." It's not talking about fearful people who are scared of the boogeyman. No, it's about the fearful. God equates the fearful with the unbelieving because the fearful is translated
Adventuresin.net. You misquoted it slightly, so I will fix it. All we are is dust in the wind, dude. Dust. Wind. Dude.
from the Greek
Toreador says sometimes a fascist is just a fascist.
word that means like coward. Okay, that's a good word for coward. The coward is equated with the unbeliever because the coward sits there and says, "You know what? I've got the ability to help these people, but it doesn't really involve me, so I'm just going to mind my own business." And you've heard them say that a million times. Mind your own business.
I will say Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is about as close as you can get to a perfect comedy. My main criticism is just the use of a single slur in the movie, and it was the 80s. So, like, it could have been worse. Fuck, what a great movie.
Business. No, do not mind your own business. Stand up to these people. Do not be scared of them. They can't eat you and take away your birthday.
I
right?
did post your killing
They Melvined me.
Scott
Death is great. Bogus Journey is quite good.
a pullover today because we have new people, and I'll.
Do you see the most recent one? Surprise! I own the 4K trilogy box set that has Adventure, Journey, and the third one, Bill and Ted Face the Music, which was pretty good. It wasn't as good as the other two, but like it had some good stuff and I enjoyed it. It was fine. It was a fine enough streaming movie. Although Keanu Reeves barely felt like he was playing Bill at all. Like, I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. It's fine though.
I'll go through like a rotation on videos. The one where that
What We Do in the Shadows is a perfect comedy movie. I wouldn't disagree. That one's great too. Hot Tub Time Machine, also quite funny. Freyline says, fuck off, you want... Oh, no. Okay. Freyline says, F off, you want the Jews to go to Israel so they can be forced to convert or burn in hell. Don't go quoting things about how the Holocaust happened. Yes, for those that don't know, part of the evangelical Christian obsession with Israel is the belief in certain rapture doctrines that basically the homeland of the Israelites needs to be reestablished, and then basically a war with Russia or China, I've heard nowadays because the political environment's changed, will destroy Israel. So, like, it's a pretty self-serving thing a lot of evangelicals believe about Israel, and it's unfortunate.
guy got fired from Killing. It's at nighttime. I
Killing.
posted that today. Yeah, because that's Scott's courage standing up. He's not taking any crap from that guy.
No, and that's
That
just
guy
one-
got
that's just
fired.
that's just one example. That's right. That's just one
Rickham says, glad you're feeling better today. Me too.
example of whenever you stand up to these people, they back up because their power is not real. Their power is in the mind of the beholder.
Leonard Part 6 is a perfect comedy movie. Nemesaur, there's no amount of gift subs that you could gift that would make me agree with that. Now, Ghost Dad, on the other hand, we could have a discussion about Ghost Dad.
It's all perception.
Oh, and then they just play Thunderstruck like that's allowed. Sure, why not? Just do that. Copyright? Fuck it. More like copy wrong, bitch. Here's Thunderstruck. Okay. You've seen Ghost Dad? It was terrible. You couldn't have seen Ghost Dad. He was so invisible. What about Bushwhacked? Bushwhacked. I just remember the ad for Bushwhacked. Bushwhacked. Anyway. Do I want to do this one? This one isn't too bad. This is actually kind of interesting in that it's someone who could have fallen deeper into the sovereign citizen thing, but they seem to bounce off it because their mom tried to convince them, but the judge sets them straight, and they accept it. So we'll check it out. Favorite Mel Brooks film outside of Young Frankenstein? Ooh, that's tough. That's really, really tough. I'm a particular fan of History of the World Part 1. That's probably my favorite Mel Brooks film. The Inquisition number does a lot of the heavy lifting in that one for me, but I do like the movie as a whole. I do like Blazing Saddles, not as much as its reputation, though I do like it. I think it's funny. Big fan of The Producers. Big fan of The Producers, both the original version and the musical. So I'll say that as well. Anyway, let's watch this video.
Come on, Miss Paul. You understand your rights in court today?
My Cousin Vinny. That's not a Mel Brooks movie, is it? We're talking, or do you just mean comedies in general? My Cousin Vinny is a great comedy. It's not a Mel Brooks movie, though.
May I have your rights form, please? Thank you.
The Elephant Man is actually a Mel Brooks movie. He was a producer. And that one's great. Not a comedy, though. Just a great David Lynch film.
Did you get a copy of your 2 citations? You got 2 separate cases. Did you know that?
I know, I have another court case.
Well, so here's the deal. You were supposed to be here on the 30th of July for your ticket from July 23rd. When you didn't show up, we told you to be here today, and you are. And then you got your most recent ticket on the 11th, and they told you to be here today. Or no, I'm sorry, they told you to be
What about History of the World Part 2? I only saw the first couple episodes. If you were just joking and don't know, they did make a History of the World Part 2 a couple years ago. It was a TV streaming series. I liked the first episode, but not enough to finish it. So maybe someday.
here on the 19th?
Yeah.
You don't have to be here on the 19th because we're going to deal with that today. Okay? All right, so you understand your rights? All right, let's talk about your first ticket from July the 23rd. They say you're in an '08 Toyota on State Route 79 near State Route 16 here in Newark. They say you were speeding on 75 and a 55. It's a minor misdemeanor. Maximum penalty is a $150 fine. They're also claiming that you're driving without a valid driver's license. Now, based upon your previous driving record, because they claim that you were convicted at least once before of not having a valid license, this is a first-degree misdemeanor. So it carries up to 180 days jail and up to a $1,000 fine. Do you understand?
Oh, God.
Okay. There's also a possible license suspension up to 1 year. Now, there are no mandatory penalties. Do you understand? So it's not like with an OVI where if you plead guilty, you have to do jail time or whatever. So even though it could be up to 180 days, $1,000 fine, and a 1 year license suspension, the court's not required to do any of those things. All right. So how would you like to plead? And you, by the way, you do have the right to have an attorney. And
Feels weird she's so close to him. I think some of that's the lens. It's not quite as, I think we actually get a separate angle in a little bit. Oh wait, no, she is that close. Okay, for a sec I thought it was just the lens squishing it, because sometimes that can happen depending on the lens, as it can make things either seem further apart or closer. Nope, she is just right up there. It's probably just because it's a quite informal traffic thing. Just a guess, though.
can afford one, we give you one for free. Would you like to have a lawyer?
No.
Okay, how do you want to plead?
I'm guilty.
Okay. And did you understand the nature and consequences of a guilty plea based upon my explanation to the group?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, let's talk about your second ticket from August the 11th. You're also charged with driving without a valid license, still in first-degree misdemeanor, same penalties. How would you like to plead to that charge?
Guilty.
Okay, all right. Don't start crying, I'm out of tissues.
No, stop.
Oh.
I only travel I only drive when I need to go to work and back.
Where do you work?
I'm a manager at McDonald's
Okay, which one?
in Heath.
Okay. But you live in Columbus.
No, I live in Newark.
Oh, you live in Newark.
I
Okay.
lived in-
What's the Pierce Avenue address?
That's my old nana's. It's changed now.
Okay, so you're going to want to update your address at the Bureau of Motor Vehicles, okay? Because they'll have a record of you even if you don't have a valid driver's license.
Where do, like...
Online.
Do you, oh, okay.
Just go online. Okay. How long have you been working for McDonald's?
About 9 months.
Okay. Did you start off just as a regular employee and then they promoted you? Okay, well, good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All righty. All right. Are you from Columbus originally, or did you grow up here? Where'd you go to high school?
Sovereign citizens would not consider driving to work acting in commerce because you're not getting paid to drive to work. You get there and then you clock in and you start getting paid, but you're not being paid to drive. So it doesn't matter either way because none of their bullshit's real. But within the sovereign citizen worldview, they would not consider that in commerce. Toreador says, do you know that the President Scroob's name was actually Mel Brooks poking fun at himself? Scroob is Brooks backwards. Oh, of course it is. Duh. That kind of makes sense. Or at least it's anagram?
Graduated from youth build, but I've been to a whole bunch of schools.
Okay.
I went to Newark High too, so like.
I had a guy in here the other day, I asked him where he went to school, and he said DYS.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Got his GED and DYS.
Well, period. That's all that matters. You graduated. I found out yesterday I'm pregnant, so I mean.
Is that congratulations or I'm sorry?
Just a little bit of both.
Okay.
I'm not.
Dad in the picture?
No.
I just lied. I'm actually not out of tissue, so you can have as many as you like.
Jesus.
Here's what I'll tell
right
you.
after this, after.
Yeah. Well, they say bad things happen in 3, so you
No,
got
stop. I
one
think I got a
ticket,
plan.
another ticket, and then that bad news, so now you should be good to go. All right?
Oh my god.
All right. So let's take a look here. All right. What you need to do is find yourself a friend that works the same shifts as you at McDonald's, so that.
No, I'm a closer, so I'm not getting home until sometimes 3, 4 o'clock.
So where do you actually live now?
I live in Hebron with my mother.
Okay. All right. But you work at the 30th Street McDonald's? Okay.
Yeah.
You know they have 2 McDonald's out there.
Yeah, my mom told me to move, but I've been at 30th Street forever, so.
Does this guy think he's the judge on Night Court? This might be Night Court for all I know. She's like unironic, like, and I know you mean the TV show. I understand what you're saying. He's being quippy. I get it. Also, Night Court's a fun show. But anyway, she does get out late. This could be Night Court.
Okay, so you're 20 over with a prior. Okay, well, it's a good thing you're making that big manager money because you're going to owe the court some money. I'm not going to put you in jail or suspend your license or put you on probation, okay? But if you keep driving, you're going to run into a judge who will, and that's a dumb reason to be in jail.
I know, 90% of the time, they just let me go. Because I say I'm traveling, and I'm only going to work and back home, so, like, I don't know.
Baby merchant. The baby merchant. Tots are us.
Well, you have to be worried.
If you don't know, don't ask.
You have to be careful about using that word traveling because that tips off cops because that's sovereign citizen type stuff.
What
Like,
does that mean? That's
the
what
argument
my mom
is,
said to
yeah.
say. She's like, just say you're traveling. They can't use.
Okay, here's the sovereign citizen part. I'm glad this judge tells her she's wrong because her mom seems to be trying to get her into sovcit stuff, and the judge is like, no, bullshit.
That's
the
what
argument
my mom
is,
said to
yeah.
say. She's like, just say you're traveling. They can't use that. They can't say. They can't.
Yeah,
They can't do nothing.
Tell your mom she's wrong.
Tell
All
her
right.
she's wrong.
Yeah. What they'll do is
Tell your mom she's wrong.
they'll say,
Tell her I'll be around later.
I don't need a driver's license, Judge, because I have a constitutional right to travel, which is partially true. You do, but you don't have you don't have a right to travel in a car by driving a car unless you have a license. So there's a difference there.
Oh, well, okay.
Now, it's the same vehicle both times, correct?
Yeah.
Is it your car or your mom's?
It's my car.
Okay. Now, they said you had insurance on the 11th. They did not mark it off into July, but since they did on the 11th, that's good enough for me, so I'm going to mark off that you've had proof on both cases. So you don't have to worry about the Bureau. The only thing you need to do is go...
I don't think he asked for my registration when he pulled me over the last time.
Here's the thing, though. You, at this point, have no suspensions. There's nothing preventing you from just going and getting your license. So that's what you need to do, all right? Don't go the first of the month because it's crazy, but you'll have to get a permit first by taking the written test, and you can do that anytime. You don't need an appointment. If you pass the written test, they're going to give you a permit, and then you have to schedule a driving test. So just get a license. I mean,
I'd be scared of taking tests. I
Well-
know that's a stupid reason, because I know I'm a good driver and I know all the laws, but...
Look, ma'am, I'm not going to argue with you here, but you are in court right now for driving 25 miles over the speed limit, so I think saying you're a good driver and you know all the laws is maybe antithetical to, like, the situation that's happening, but whatever. Get your license, please. Please.
All right, well, here's what we're going to do today. According to my traffic schedule, it's a $54 fine for your speeding violation from July. It's going to be a $175 fine on the driver's license because you did have the one prior. And because you should have known better after getting pulled over in July, it's going to be $200 on the other one. All right. Costs will be assessed in both cases, but we are going to give you time to pay, and they'll give you the details at the clerk's office. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Good luck with the baby. Good luck with the Big Macs. And when is McRib coming back?
I don't know. We got a new shake-in. If you come through, I'll always get you free food.
That's called bribery, but I appreciate the offer.
I picked this one because the judge is a little awkward a few times, but I don't know. In terms of, like, sovereign citizen-esque interactions, it's one of the more pleasant ones I've seen. She's there, she accepts she needs to pay the fines, she tried the Sovsit thing for a second, got corrected, and it was cordial. I don't know. Is that where the bar is now? I'm just happy I saw two people interact in a way that neither one seemed to want to murder each other. Anyway, Toreador says sitcom transition riff. Doom de deem doom 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 ba doop boop 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 boop.
I'll always get you free food.
That's called bribery, but I appreciate the offer.
This is 251-77629-680-681.
We've actually seen that judge before. He used to have a beard and a different haircut, so you might not have recognized him. We've actually seen that judge before. He's hit or miss in my experience, but he's fine. I don't remember having any, like, super negative feelings. I think it's mostly been kind of awkward, like, things he said where I'm like, I don't know if I would have said that. In terms of his rulings, he seems fine, though.
251-76251, 251-76252. The People versus, it says Alice C. Glide
Did I
Truck.
see the Judge Perkins vid from Old Squishy Gardener? Let me look real quick. Oh, do you mean, yeah, the
was also
Sydney's boyfriend, he's one of Cameron's, again, I never know what to call him, students? One of Cameron's followers, one of the people in Operation Wise Dome, Sydney's boyfriend, had one, his, I think this was his arraignment. I didn't pick it because it's not that interesting. He does the same exact script that, Sydney did, and just says he doesn't want to plead until he gets discovery, I think. It wasn't that interesting. That's why I didn't pick it out today. It was same old, same old. He wasn't that interesting. But just so you know, that did happen. Don't really have much more to say about it. Where were we? I know I had another court thing pulled up. There it is.
Is that a family member?
Oh, that's Webster. Perkins was posted by Ulfus 915. Let me see. Okay, I guess I was thinking of the wrong person then. Let me take a look. When was the 15th? 4 days ago? Oh, this one.
You have a jury.
Yeah, I did not pick this one out for the day. Did this get a conclusion yet? I know she ended up getting a lawyer. I've not watched it all the way through, so we will probably cover it at some point. But I didn't pick it out for today. Where were we? Okay.
That's it. All right, sir, who is that, your mom or?
Yes.
Okay. And so I have a note here that there's a request that these all be set for a formal hearing. Is that correct?
I requested that they just be dismissed on the grounds that the court papers here
There's some captions for you. He's a little hard to understand.
doesn't have trust on it, but this does, the citations.
Well, some of them do and some of them don't. Well, the prosecutor can just amend that. I can't just miss them based on that.
And the fact that the ordinance officer was told last year not to trespass on a private property in person, and he has come and done all this year.
Well, he's alleging that you're, okay, listen.
It's not an
Ordinance
alleging.
officers are allowed to do their job, sir. They're allowed to do their
They're
job.
not allowed to trespass once told private property, no
So you
trespassing.
don't think, so let me just see under your logic. So if I own a property in Taylor and I tell an ordinance officer they can't come there, and then I proceed to have 3 broken down cars in my driveway that don't have tires on them, and then I also have, I don't cut my grass, right? I have broken windows on my house and my garage is caving in. You think that the officers, is it your position that they don't have a right to write tickets on those things?
He doesn't have a right to trespass. He can.
He's not okay. I think his problem is he thinks is a trespass is anytime someone is on my property and I don't want them to be, which colloquially I understand why you would maybe think that. But like, if a police officer has probable cause to be on your property or whatever, then that's not a trespass because they have the legal right to be there. So it's not trespassing even though you don't want them there.
See it from the distance and send you a citation, you know, from a distance, from the sidewalk, the public property, but not walk on your land. When
Do you have
told
any,
personal
okay, do you have any
property.
case law that supports that? Do you have any?
The Constitution of the United States.
Okay,
right to
Constitution,
privacy,
all right.
and it also says
No, it
that no
doesn't.
business has any authority over you.
It
and
doesn't
no
say
business
that.
can make law.
Nope, doesn't
Yes,
say
it
that.
does.
I've read, sir.
I've read the Constitution.
Okay, well, sir, I actually have a doctorate in the Constitution.
Yeah, I think she's been wanting to say that for a while. I read the Constitution. Sir, I have a doctorate in the Constitution. I think every expert in the entire world felt what she just said so hard. This decade has been a rough one for people with education. Rip to all the people with PhDs, doctorates, and whatnot out there. Sorry, the world's full of idiots.
Right, sir.
I've read the Constitution.
Okay, well, sir, I actually have a doctorate in the Constitution, which means I had to read it a lot. And I'm going to tell you, it doesn't say any of the things that you're saying it says.
It says no business can make law.
No, it
And
does not.
And the ordinance is not law. And the city of Taylor is a charter business.
Okay, we'll set these all for a formal hearing. You can present.
Is it still mansplaining, or is there another word? We can call it sovsplaining, because I've seen sovereign citizen women say the same thing and try and talk over judges.
For arguments at that time. Okay, so you'll get notice of the next court date in the mail.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
Not quite as cordial as the previous one. Okay. There is this documentary. ABC, the Australian Broadcast Corporation, put out a 46-minute documentary about the sovereign citizen movement in Australia because of the Desi Freeman thing, but I don't think we have the time, unfortunately, today to go over it, so we'll have to save that for next time. Let's try this one. This will probably be the last video of the day. I think this involves... I forget her name. She sued, why am I blanking on his channel name? I feel like an asshole. Skeptic something. Something Skeptic. Team Skeptic. She sued Team Skeptic. Of course, she lost that case. But she's back in court again. She's had issues with child custody and legal battles involving allegations of kidnapping the children. It's a whole shit show.
Tiffany Woods for the people.
Dineski.
Allison Muller here on behalf of Lindsay Dineski. Ms. Dineski, can you state your name, please?
Yeah, sorry, I was just trying to unmute. Lindsay Dineski.
Thank you.
All right, we're here for a pretrial today, and are you in possession of all of the documents that your client has filed?
I should also point out that at one point there was some kind of restraining order or something that was keeping her from, like, her kids, and then it did end up getting dropped. But then when it got dropped, she went to the dad's house and started banging on the door with like a 2x4. Like, she damaged the door. She wasn't just like knocking on the door with it. She was like denting the shit out of the door with it. It was genuinely the craziest fucking shit. And they had like a Ring doorbell, so she's like, "Come on, give me the kids." Like, it was something.
I am, Your Honor.
Okay, can we see counsel in the breakout room? All right.
When the judge says, "Can you do something?" I want them to say, "I don't know, can I?" That is the vibe, huh?
We're back on the record in the case of the state of Michigan versus Lindsay Duneski. You don't need to place your appearances back on. We had a brief discussion regarding
I'm gonna look for that other video while we're watching this so I can hopefully show you guys.
all of the filings that were filed, although the defendant has an attorney in this
In a
particular
custodial
case.
arrest.
So at this point in time, we need to make a record of what's going on in this matter, and we can go from there. Ms. Moeller, it looks like your client submitted 4 different filings. First of all, the court has no requirement because we're not a email e-filing court to accept email pleadings. We did do so. Your client was advised that there is a page limit to how much we'll accept for any one hearing. So that happened, and you should be aware that that did happen as well, and that she will need to follow any filing requirements in the future. And I believe that she represented to staff that she had filed those with the prosecutor's office. Ms. Woods is indicating she did not receive them. I don't know whether they were filed with the prosecutor.
I would like to point out that based on what I've seen of her previous court appearances, I'm not sure that rules are something she's very good at following. So telling her that she needs to follow specific rules might not go great for her.
Prosecutor's office or not. Having said that, do you have a copy of the filings that your client filed with the court?
I do, Your Honor. I received those filings were sent to the court, and just now realizing they were not sent to prosecution, I have forwarded those to Ms. Woods.
Thank you.
I sent them to the other prosecutor. I apologize. Her name was Ellie, I think, because that was the one who it said she was the prosecutor for the county. So I just probably sent it to the wrong prosecutor.
So it is a he. That is
He,
the
okay.
chief prosecutor, Ellie Savitt, and they probably did not get sent to the proper place because of the way you filed them.
I filed them the way I was instructed to file them. I called and asked for instructions, and I did what I was told. So I was told that the filing requirements were to email them, and that's what I did. So, and then I was notified after the fact that there was a limit. They made an exception because they didn't notify me. And then I told them I emailed the prosecutor, verified the email. And so as far as I know, the chief prosecutor got them. I just didn't know that I was supposed to send them to the other prosecutor too. I thought, notice to agent is notice to principal. So I thought if I sent them to the main prosecutor, any of the assistant prosecutors would get them.
That's a sovereign citizen thing they say a lot. Notice to agent is notice to principal.
Because I didn't know which one would be on the case today.
Don't file shit your lawyer deems nonsensical. Yeah, that's crazy to me. The lawyer was like, yeah, this is nonsense. I legally don't even think I can file this. And you're like, fine, I'll do it then. That to me is wild. Sorry, I'm looking for the clip. I know that Team Skeptic had it in one of his videos, and I don't know where to find it otherwise. Where the heck is the footage? From the dang doorbell cam. Episode 2, maybe, in this playlist? It's around here somewhere. I'm normally much more prepared for this. I apologize. There it is! Oh boy! Please be prepared for this.
The hearing. Chucks have 4 and a brick.
Lucas!
Sorry, that's mono. Let me put that in both ears for people. There you go. Not what you want to see on your Ring doorbell. Look at the brick! She's got a brick! She's banging on the door with a brick!
Ellie, Lucas! Mommy's here! I miss you!
You need to get away from my house.
No, I want my kids! They canceled the court order! They vacated it because...
I don't give a fuck! I'm gonna tell you right now, bitch, I'm even working. If you're still there, you're gonna get fucked up!
You're here! No! I want my
fuck away from my goddamn house!
Call the police!
And here is a picture of the damage done to the door.
Yeah, so she like actually banged on the door with it. That's not good. It's not good. So that's who the video is. Yeah.
Miss Woods?
Yes, Judge. I mean, I'm just
I guess what I'm trying to say is she's erratic.
opening up one of the files now. I mean, I would need time to review all of this. I would not be able to. Yeah, I would need time to review all of these, Judge.
Thank you. All right, so first of all, Ms. Dineski has counsel, so whether or not she should or has the ability to file filings in the first place is something I'm still mulling over because she has counsel. So any pleadings should come through her counsel. And
Yeah, they
then,
refused to file it, so.
Ma'am, I didn't say.
Oh, I'm
it.
sorry. I apologize.
Believe it or not, this is her doing her best. I've seen her in some of her earlier court appearances, and she is very restrained right now.
And then, secondly, these are not proper pleadings. They're not filed in the proper format. They're not filed with the proper spacing. They're not filed according to any of the court rules. So that's
They don't have to be, though.
Ma'am.
Yes, they do. That's why they're rules. What do you mean?
Which I
They
put on
do.
there.
And ma'am, if you speak up one more time, you're going to be held in contempt of court.
But I thought this was my hearing. I should be able to speak on my own behalf.
You're not able to speak on your own behalf unless you don't have counsel, and you need to stop talking. One more talking, it's going to find you in contempt of court, and I'm going to give you 15 days. So please stop talking. Ms. Woods is indicating that she needs time to look at those pleadings and to be able to respond. Ms. Moeller, what is your
Hydrate, Judge Washington, hydrate.
position? I haven't heard anything from you today because she actually has.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Neski and I did, prior to the last pretrial, discuss. I didn't know exactly what she was going to be filing, but I did understand.
Chat, who am I? I'm the guy from Plan 9.
Understand the basis of her legal argument. Her and I had a conversation where I didn't agree with the grounds for filing. It is correct that I said I would not be filing this on her behalf because I found the legal argument not to be correct. At this hearing, then Ms. Duneski did file these motions, and so I would discuss it further with my management, but I would not be proceeding with these arguments at a hearing if the court were to set it for that. I understand Ms. Duneski does want to proceed with these arguments, and I believe that she's requesting to represent herself if this court sets this for a motion hearing.
Now, Ms. Dineski, are you requesting to represent yourself?
Well, I'm asserting my right to represent myself. I'm not requesting.
All right, then if you're not requesting to represent yourself, then what's going to happen is you're going to continue to have counsel.
Well, I'm asserting my right, which is much stronger than requesting. I shouldn't have to request something that I have a right to. It just should be automatic, right?
All right.
Like the
It
Sixth
is not,
Amendment
it is not,
and the Constitution.
it is, ma'am,
Yes.
it is not automatic. So first
I mean,
of
the
all,
Sixth
now,
Amendment says,
stop.
right?
Yes, and you also have a right to an attorney. You have a right to an attorney, and you have a right to be your own attorney, which is why you directly have to request one or the other because they are mutually exclusive. So to ensure that you are voluntarily giving up one of your mutually exclusive rights, you have to verbally request it.
Right?
Talking.
Well, you asked me a question. I'm answering under
No,
the Sixth
I heard
Amendment.
you. No, nope, nope. Stop talking. So look, this is the way it's going to work. I'm going to give you what your rights are, and then you.
Didn't she once say she went to law school? She did say that. I don't believe her.
You make a choice to represent
Or she showed up for a week or something and couldn't hack it. Which, like, it's law school. It's not easy. I wouldn't blame someone.
Yourself, you can. After I've finished giving you those rights. Do you understand that part?
I comprehend it.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So, first of all, what you're charged with is police officer assaulting, resisting, obstructing. It's an attempt. It has a maximum penalty of up to 1 year in the Washtenaw County Jail. Do you understand that part?
I comprehend that that's what you're charging with. I don't understand it because it's false.
Okay. Do you want?
Tori says, I'm a chiromancer. Spine manipulation. I cast slipped disc.
Understand that that is what the maximum penalty is.
I do, which is why this is unconstitutional because I was the victim in the case and falsely
All right, I
arrested.
think what I'm going to do is refer her to make sure she's competent. Because at this point in time, if she can't understand and she wants to use a different word, then I guess what I need to do is figure out what.
Comprehend means that I know what it means. Okay. Understand means that I'm understanding the court, and I am not understanding the court because I'm challenging jurisdiction. I don't need a competency evaluation. I see.
Based on what you're saying, I think you do, because you think that understand is a secret code word that gives jurisdiction to the court, when that's not how any of this works. They have jurisdiction. You're here.
A psychiatrist every month because I have ADD. So if you would like me to present to you that I'm mentally fit, that's fine. But for you to say that I have to have a competency evaluation with no cause because I'm asserting my
There's a cause.
rights, that's a violation of Shearer versus Cullen. All I'm doing is asserting my right to represent myself.
Referred for competency. We'll prepare an order so she can be evaluated so we can
Well,
determine.
I object to that. I object to the competency
whatever
overruled.
You want to object to, but if you don't participate, then I'll put you in custody until we get an exam done.
Normal ADD does not require monthly therapy. Weekly. I think she said weekly.
But you have to say that there has to be a reason. There has to be a cause.
And that's where it cuts off. So yeah, I wonder how that competency evaluation's gonna get. Honestly, she'll be found as competent. The bar is incredibly low for competency, so, you know. She said monthly psych gives meds. Oh, duh, that makes sense, yeah, for her Ritalin or whatever she's on. Oh, I should hopefully have my Ritalin again soon. Can you imagine me, but productive again? I haven't had my Ritalin in like 2 years. Remember how much more productive I was 2 years ago? And before that? So that'll be good. Anyway. So thanks everyone for hanging out. Another fun stream of Sovereign Citizens. If you haven't already, if you're not following me on Twitch, give me a follow. If you're not subscribed already on YouTube, consider doing so. I stream all the time, and I have a huge backlog that goes back like 6 years. I don't even know at this point. 5 years, 4 years, whatever. It's years and years of content, so check it out. I expect you to remember 2 years ago. I don't. I wouldn't expect you to. So, I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know what we'll be doing tomorrow. Marantz has been going through some stuff. I don't know how to describe. Marantz has gotten into Charlie Kirk conspiracy theories, and he's tying it into his stuff about private equity. So, I don't know what to do with that. There's also a cult. There's a cult. Where was it? Someone sent me a thing about this goddamn cult. We might do a cult watch, depending on that. I don't know. All right, let's see who we're going to rate on Twitch. By the way, chat, I did make a patty melt last night, and it was great. I put, of course, I put American cheese on it, because that's the best cheese for a burger. But I also put some of the garlic Gouda. Oh, yeah. It was good stuff. Got any bad reality TV? That would be good. We haven't done that in a while. I'll have to look and see if I can find something. We never did watch Black White together. I know other streamers watched it years ago, but, I mean, I haven't seen it since I was a kid, so. I watched Black White week to week when I was a kid. All right. Do 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 do.
You guys are the Nazis, and things happen real.
We will raid. Oh, do we want to do Cooker 28? Online VCR is on.
Never have to pay for anything.
Hell yeah, online VCR. I miss VCR archives. All right, have a great night, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. Sunday, we are doing a patron and YouTube member-only stream, so make sure you hang out for that. Cool beans. Have a good night, everyone. See you soon. Bye-bye. Do 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 do.